Hey everybody, welcome back to another amazing episode of We Know Texas Vino. Now this week's episode's a little special. This episode was recorded during the Bingham's grand opening of the Roanoke location. There's a lot of great information in here and we just couldn't keep it to ourselves. With that being said, this week is going to be an amazing week of events for us. So the first one is, if you have not gotten your tickets for this event, you need to do this. Here we are with another amazing episode of We Know Texas Vino. Now, this week's episode's a little special. This episode was recorded during the Bingham's grand opening of the Roanoke location. And there's a lot of great information here, and so we just couldn't keep it to ourselves. With that being said, this week is also going to be a great week of events for us. So the first is, if you have not gotten your tickets for the We Know Texas Vino wine experience featuring Andy Gonzalez, the wino guy, you need to do so now. These tickets are selling pretty fast, and I believe they're $55 a person. Now, we will be comparing Texas wine with Old World counterpart. This is something you do not want to miss either. Also, we are proud sponsors of the Texas Wine and Grape Growers Association of Texas, and we will be broadcasting live there. And every hour, we'll be featuring a new winery, so you really do not want to miss that. We also want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors. Our first one is going to be the Texas Wine Lover. If you're trying to figure out a winery to go to, or you want to map out a trip, this is the website and app to go to. That is TexasWineLover.com, or from the Apple or Android Play Store, it is Texas Wine Lover app. Then we also have the Texas Wine Club, probably the best way of tasting different parts of Texas. They have wine from different wineries, and all you have to do is select how many bottles you want to get, and they will ship them to you. They also have a tasting room in high, so you can go there and actually drink on site instead of having to have it shipped. So you want to go check them out at txwine.com. And then for our last sponsor, we have Fly with Wine. Ever wanted to go to a winery on a trip and you buy some wine and you realize you got to ship it by UPS or FedEx, and then it's going to cost you an arm and a leg? Then you must wait a couple of days or a week or 2 or 3 or 12 before you can get the wine to enjoy it. Well, Fly with Wine has solved this issue with their luggage. You have to go out and you can have your check-in bag with you with wine in it, and then the minute you land, you have your wine in hand to drink that night. So it's an amazing little deal. That's flywithwine.com. Now, since this has been a special episode, we didn't have any quotes on this. So I'm going to bring you the quotes of the week. People say I'm hard to shop for. They clearly do not know where to buy wine. And then we're going to create a new word. It's called sip slip. The definition is when you mean to take a sip of your wine and accidentally down the whole glass. And this is Will with We Know Texas Vino, and enjoy this next episode. Cheers.
So, Andy, glad you got to make it.
Glad I made it.
Yeah. So we're at Bingham Family Winery in Roanoke. So
Beautiful place.
it is. And as you can see and our listeners can hear, they can't see very well, but Marissa, and I believe it's her sister or daughter or somebody relative, is back in the back. They're playing their string instruments.
Looks like a cello and a violin from here.
Yes, I believe that's what it is.
Cello and violin.
Yeah. So not only you're going to get to have wine and you get to see us, but you get live string music as well.
How about that?
That's
Not to
amazing.
mention the wine.
Yeah, not to mention the wine. What's that? Oh, yeah, I mentioned the wine maybe once. I haven't mentioned any time more
We
than
are
that.
at a vineyard tasting room, winery tasting room. Beautiful. This is their number fourth location here. They had, of course, they started with the family vineyard there in Meta, which is in North Texas. I'll talk about that shortly. And then secondly, they went to Grapevine in what year was that? Remember?
I don't know. I don't know the year on that.
Well,
That was before my drinking age.
well, let's see. I think I made a note here of when that was.
I think it was long before my drinking of
Yes,
wine
it was.
age.
2015, they opened the Grapevine store. Then in 2018, the Fredericksburg store. And then in 20, the High store. And today, 2024, what is today? Anyway, today
Well, so actually the Fredericksburg store is no longer there. It's now in High.
High.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say. Sorry.
Yeah, so that Fredericksburg location is no longer there. It's actually in High, Texas now, which is actually an old vineyard itself and tasting room. They took over one that was.
Remember who they took over? Let's talk to Jen about that.
Yeah, I don't remember, but we'll get her over here. Yeah, that's actually on our episode part 2 with Bingham, because we actually talk about the high location and what location they took over from there. So
Fantastic.
yeah. So, but yeah, we're going to be out here all day till at least 9 o'clock
PM?
p.m.
Some of us are.
I know you got to watch Murder with She Wrote after 7 o'clock, you know.
I got to go home. I'm the old guy here.
Yeah, but Mike will be out here later. So yeah.
He's the next old guy.
Yeah, he's the next old guy. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're going to be out here all day. We're going to be broadcasting out here, and we're going to be talking to random patrons out here. Even talk to some of the employees if we get a chance. Even get Marissa, and we even get the dirt farmer himself out here.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah.
And let me give you a couple of quick notes about this place. So, obviously, we're in Roanoke, but did not know this. Bingham started back a long time ago, and they were up at the High Plains of Texas.
Yep.
High Plains, of course, was an AVA in Texas in 1993. Is the second largest Texas AVA behind the Texas Hill Country.
Yep.
And they have 75 varieties of grape in the Texas High Plains. I'm anxious to find out from Jen Chase or one of the founding members what they grow, how many varieties they grow specifically on their vineyard. That'd be fantastic, because I think they have, how many acres? I don't even know how many acres they have, but I know.
Don't get me lying. I want to say it was like 200.
That's great. Let's find out. I want to find out.
Yeah, we'll find out later.
Let's find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll get everybody in here. We'll get them all sit down. We'll get to talking to them. We'll get them with a little bit of wine in them, so they'll start talking. You know, the more wine they have, the more they talk.
Always. Speaking of wine, I think I need to get myself a glass
Yes.
of wine.
And I know Jen said something about we might get to do a special live tasting of a new wine they're fixing to be offering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's do that.
Yeah, it might be later today to do that, because we're going to actually do that a little bit more live. And we're going to do that on camera as well, so that way everybody can get the full effect of how to do a wine tasting.
Fantastic.
So,
Looking forward to it.
yeah, we're going to be out here at Bingham Family Winery
What's the
in
address here?
409 North Oak Street, Roanoke, Texas. Don't ask me what the zip code is, because I don't know.
409 North Oak Street. We're right across from a parking lot, but that one you can't park in. Yes, you can.
Yeah,
You have 409
it says 409 parking
private
lot.
parking for
Yep.
you when you show up here today.
Now, we will tell you this. If you bring us Heartache Barbecue today, we will buy you a glass of wine. If you're listening.
All right, we will.
Well, Andy will anyway. I won't.
Oh,
So, all right, guys, we're going to go off for a little bit, and we're going to talk around to some of the patrons, and then we will be back in a little while.
on YouTube.
So, everybody, guess who I found walking around?
Hello.
It is our own little Jen. Little Jen. How you been doing, Jen?
Busy Jen.
Busy Jen.
Busy Jen. Tired Jen.
So, tell everybody how happy you are to get this finally open.
Well, I can sleep now, so pretty happy about that. But no, it was it's pretty amazing, because it was something that we've been talking about for well over a year. We signed our actual lease here in September of 2022.
Yeah.
And we finally got all of the permitting and all that jazz. So we were pretty pumped
Yeah.
that it all is here and ready. But now, of course, like, we're looking at it like, okay, well, what can we fix now? We already built it. Now what else can we change?
Right.
We know one thing they're going to fix.
What's that? Oh, they're going to fix the road?
The parking.
Well, we have
Yes, tell me about
actually,
the parking.
so it's actually pretty cool. So our building owns the parking lot right in front of us. And
Okay.
so we have parking right in front of the building, as well as behind our building and in front of the actual tasting room itself. So
Okay.
we got lots of parking spots that y'all can pick out and stuff. And it's only for our building. So
That's awesome. Kind of like the one in Grapevine. You got your own little parking behind the building.
yeah, but that one's shared with a whole lot more people than this one is.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
But, well, Jen, we are so happy that y'all finally got this open, and you were happy to be here.
Oh yeah, there
You
was
know?
definitely some crying that day. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Oh, what day was that?
Oh, we don't want to talk about it because
Oh, that day.
It was that day. That day.
Well, I have a couple questions, Jen, if you don't mind.
I'm ready.
Okay, so you're running this store and Grapevine.
Yes, sir.
For how long is that going to take place?
For as long as
Indefinitely.
I want to.
Oh, okay. So you have no assistant manager?
No, I
here?
no. I have assistant manager. I have Carmen Winters that's been with me. She has been there almost 4 years. In August, she'll be here for 4 years. And then Madison McDowell, she is my assistant manager over at Grapevine, and she's been with me for 4 years now too. Yeah, I do have some help. Yeah, so I get to float back and forth, and but it's funny because right now I'm seeing myself more moving cases of wine from Roanoke to Grapevine, just so we can keep the inventory a little bit lower in Grapevine, because the size of the location, you always had cases everywhere underneath in Grapevine. Yeah, so Grapevine is only 800 square feet. Whereas our Roanoke location is over 3,000 square feet.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
It's just slightly, just a little bit.
Yeah, there's so much room for activities now.
Yes, and so we have a storage room in here, and so we're able to, instead of having a delivery every 2 weeks from our farm, we're actually getting all of the storage from here and moving it there. So I'm just right now a mule, if anything. I'm just muling out wine.
Wow.
Looking at this bar here, and I noticed there's a barn door.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, what's behind that barn door?
That's the secret stuff. You can go back there.
When mom and dad are coming over and you haven't cleaned,
Yeah.
then you put everything in the big closet.
Yeah.
That's a big closet.
For now,
Yeah.
The plans to have that be a private party room?
No, so we actually have a room. So if you can kind of see that has the wine racks in the back, that is going to turn into a private room. We're going to have a glass window with sliding doors. We're adding an extra bar top in there as well, so that they can have that. But it's going to be all wine racks, kind of our own little cellar. But yeah, so it'll be kind of fun.
And today, I believe we have Uncle.
Yeah, so he does, he makes pizzas, and so we decided to add him here. We already have him out in High location, but we wanted to bring that here as well because his pizzas are absolutely fantastic. He pre-makes them for us, and we just have to cook those bad boys.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Well, as a matter of fact, Will and I tasted them, sort of. I
Yeah.
had to kind of inhale my food, but I just talked to Uncle, and we're going to try to interview
Yeah, we're
him
gonna get him on here.
shortly.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And if anybody in the DFW area is a winery, you most likely know about Uncle's Pizzas.
Cool. Yeah,
So-
and they are, in my understanding,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they're 100% a Texas, also a Texas company.
Yep.
He gets sources all his product from raw materials from here locally as much as he can.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
That's pretty awesome.
He ships from Dallas to almost. He says he has over 40 wineries that work with him
Oh, I bet.
because it makes it. They already know about him. They already know the taste is amazing. The crust is. What'd you think about that crust, Will?
Man, that crust was amazing. I mean,
And honestly,
it's-
I didn't even know that a pizza that could taste like that's not from like a major
Yeah.
corporation. But yeah, no, they do very, very well. And each of one of the pizzas were handmade. It's not a machine. So
that's called love right there.
it truly is. And so, what goes better with wine than pizza? And so we had to have that.
Okay,
That's pretty awesome.
Do you have any questions? I have
No.
a couple more.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I want to keep it on if we can.
I think Jen's got like 20 seconds.
I'm fine. Everything's fine. Don't mind me. I'm just turning around.
Okay, so we're at 409 North Oak Street.
Yes, sir.
Parking lot is actually across the street. from
Literally cross the street.
Park there. There's a sign that says private parking, but that is
409 North
private
Oak. Yep.
parking. Okay.
So that is
North Oak
ours.
Street, side parking. They had balloons out here, but they just got stolen by the wind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Mother Nature has
flew
taken
away.
over.
we,
What is your favorite? I think I met you here 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
At Grapevine location.
Yep.
And have seen you since at places all over town. What is your favorite so far? Because I know my favorite probably was, and I don't know if you still do Dugout.
We do.
So Dugout was one of my favorites, as well as the Dirt Climb.
Yep. Those are two of our flagships for sure.
One of my favorites. And you also do an amazing Viognier. I don't know if maybe you do know this, but Viognier was the first grape they planted
Yep.
back in, what was it,
2003.
2004.
Yeah, yeah.
Notes, but
Yeah. So they planted in the fall of 03, but then their first actual crop was at 04.
04, and according to Mr. Bingham, he says they started their own, I guess, did you open Grapevine?
We opened Grapevine in 2015. I haven't been there for that long. I've been here since 19.
Okay. So
Yeah.
can I remember some of the other people that were
In between.
between you and them?
Yep.
when I first became a member there,
Uh-huh.
I guess was when they first opened. Yeah.
And it's changed, and what's really crazy, and the biggest thing with us with Grapevine, we absolutely love that location. We're gonna stick there. Do not worry, we're not leaving Grapevine.
Good.
The thing was, we were kind of growing out of that space pretty quickly. And so we were looking for more space, number one, storage, parking. So of course, all the things that we needed. And all the things that we have now, which is awesome. And then the patio was a plus. We were not expecting to find something with a completely covered patio. Just the patio alone is 500 square feet.
Fantastic.
So very excited for those. We're probably going to do, if you want to have an event out there, you can. We're planning on adding fire pits out there, more seating,
Nice.
all kinds of fun stuff. And then, so we got a lot of stuff going.
You got a lot of stuff going.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're
Love
actually
it.
most of the ownership is from Meta. And
Yes.
They live there.
Yep.
So you're running the show here.
Yep.
But-
and Grapevine is only, 12?
Yeah, it's not far at all.
Well, it depends on the time of the day.
Also true. Yeah. When,
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
not from this side of town. I'm from the other side
Yeah,
of
you're
town.
from the rich side of town.
Welcome to the peasant side.
Yeah, this is the
Thanks.
peasant side.
Well, no, my daughter lives here in Trophy Club. So
Oh, that's not peasant side.
That's not peasant side
no,
either.
no.
the point was,
But you know that she's not only the tasting room manager here. Oh, sorry, the manager, or actually you're the GM. Actually,
GM of both.
Yeah.
she's actually the GM of the one in High also.
No, I'm not that one.
I thought you was.
No,
You made
that's
this whole-
Forrest.
You mean this whole time you've been telling me you're the GM for everything, and I've been living this
boy.
delusional.
No, I'm just, you're delusional. I'm just
Wouldn't be
here
the
in
first person to say
DFW.
that, so that's okay.
Oh wow! Listen
It's
to Eddie
okay.
go there.
You're so pretty. It's fine. It's
See,
okay.
this is why we miss Jen on here.
Oh, she's been busy, as y'all can tell. So how long did it take again to get this open? How many months?
September
6
of
years.
2022 is when we opened this.
September
Is
of
when we actually,
2022, and this is January
2024.
See, I told you 6 years.
It
Well, I
felt,
imagine
it felt
this-
like
this,
6 years. I'll tell you that much, man.
Licensing,
Oh,
the
yeah.
permits, and
And of course, like everything that we were like, it'll be fine, but it went sideways. But honestly, of course, it's a learning experience. This was our very first build out completely from scratch. I'm gonna create a little slideshow of what this place looked like at the very beginning, because we didn't even have concrete floors in here. So it was dirt, and I would joke around that it's very earthy in here because of all the dirt in here.
I was worried about to make a joke about that, and then you said it. I'm like, oh, well, I better not joke about that.
Yeah, it was we had an earthy tasting room. But yeah, so it was just dirt, and we didn't have walls, and so this whole thing was just a design. And my biggest pride was the bar. Because I really wanted to design a bar that was functional. I've worked in bars and restaurants for so long that what works and what doesn't. And I was really big into making sure, one, we had enough space for people to walk by. Yes,
Well,
and the seating and all
The
that.
one
Yeah.
thing, if you're familiar with the Grapevine location, and you come here, there's more space behind the bar in one area than there is in the whole area at the Grapevine location.
Pretty much. We can put the tasting room inside of the bar. But yeah.
you have all your accolades on the wall.
Yep.
So how many? You can ask this later to one of the other people, but
Mm-hmm.
how many varieties do they grow up there?
It's between 25 and 27. We just planted 2 other ones this past year, and I don't know. I know that there's some vines that we're having to kind of switch out. So we're sitting at about 250 acres of grapes right now, but and then we have the organic farming on top of it. So got a lot of stuff.
Not the grape. That's the cotton.
Right. Yeah. So we do organic cotton, hemp. We're looking at hopefully truffles coming in the next
Whoa,
2
wait a
to
minute.
3 years.
Truffles.
Truffles.
Wow.
Like what kind of truffles?
Truffle.
Truffles.
Because you got several different types of truffle out there. Like the most sought after gold version of truffles is the black truffle.
I'm not positive on which one. That would probably be a Cliff question.
Is there there's enough dead matter to grow, I guess, out there?
I mean, probably, yeah.
That's interesting. I think that'd be a fun trip someday to go up there. I know it's only, 300 and something miles from Dallas, about 5 hours, hour and a half.
It feels like 15, but yep.
It's flat, but I don't know. Again, you people out there don't know this. Essentially, but I believe it's 3,000 feet above sea level for
Yes.
that ranch.
Mhm. And so, and that's they've done a really amazing job of figuring out what grows out in West Texas right now. And of course, they're still experimenting on some of the Vitrus vinifera that have come in, but it's amazing how far we have actually come. We started only with 5 acres, and it was the 4 acres of Viognier and 1 acre of Gewürztraminer. That 1 acre of Gewürztraminer is still standing, still growing, and still producing, which is amazing. Whereas unfortunately, the beginning of that Viognier has diminished because of the freezes and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's coming along. So
what is your favorite? And I know it's like a mom and their babies.
Oh yeah.
So mom and your babies. If you had to pick your favorite bottle, what would it be?
Oh. Now, before you do that, like picking wine is like picking your favorite kid.
I know.
That's okay. That's what, you got a gun to her head.
Yeah, they did.
A proverbial gun, folks, not a real gun.
I felt it. It's pointing in my back. No, honestly, so right now, the things that are pouring absolutely gorgeously is our 2022 Reserve Simeon. That one has won pretty prestigious awards. We've won a gold in Houston. We won some silvers in San Antonio, and then a couple in San Francisco. We got some golds off of that one too. And then, so that's my white favorite right now, but my red favorite is always probably my 19 Cabernet Franc. I do our 2019. Yeah,
I think I have a bottle of that still at the house.
That one is hands down one of my favorites. I love Cab Franc in general, but
100% Cab Franc.
It is 100% Cab Franc. Yeah,
okay, and 100% estate grown.
It
For
is.
you listeners, that means it's all grown on their farm.
Yep,
they make it in their own winery.
we do.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how many more people are trying to create this estate label, and I'm just excited to see the growth of the estate label for Texas. The more that we can do that, the better. For all of us.
Well, there's only 8 AVAs in Texas, 2 of which are inside another one, which is crazy.
Right.
So hopefully we're gonna see.
We'll see, and we'll see that.
East Texas AVA. I'm just chomping a bit, waiting to see what happens.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, you're seeing a lot of the East and North Texas really trying to increase their production, and more and more people are coming in. I'm also a part of Bingham and the association is a part of the North Texas Wine Association, Wine Country as well. And, just seeing how many more people are joining of their new wineries. And, we've already had a few on the podcast as well. So it's really cool. It's really, really cool.
And it's just going to get better over the next couple of years.
Oh yeah.
Every day we've got new wineries and new vineyards opening up. In fact, I actually read the other day, I think I saw something that says 500 acres or 10,000 acres or 5,000 acres or something like that of vineyard across the state of Texas.
You
know what? That is a question I don't know at the moment, but I know.
Texas High Plains have 8 million acres already.
Right.
That's the size of the
whole area, right?
And they have 12,500 square miles. Includes 24 counties. And let me see. I thought I wrote it down. Yes, 5,000 acres of vines in the Texas High Plains alone.
Wow.
Right, and they have 76 varieties grown in the Texas High Plains at the moment, and it is the 2nd largest AVA in Texas, 3rd largest in the United States.
Holy cow!
So right now it says, and this is outdated, so it's almost 10 years old. But in 2016, there was almost 7,000 acres of vineyards in Texas. So it's 10 years old.
There has to be
so much
doubled.
Like I said, there's 5,000
just
right
alone,
now, just up north, and that's the 2nd.
Yeah.
Right.
largest AVA.
Yep.
So,
oh yeah.
Something fun, you guys out there, listen to podcast number 32, I believe is when Jen did her tasting.
Yes.
And I listened to that yesterday or the day before, whatever it was, but I aced it.
Hey.
All I did was listen to her and listen to the way she explained it, and I was able to pick exactly what they were.
Nice.
So you guys out there listening, take a do you have any idea? Do you remember by chance?
I do not remember.
Okay.
I barely remember what I did yesterday, let alone
So
anything
Vino,
else.
Texas Vino, you can go to the podcast site and
Yep.
look
Yes.
up the tasting with Jen Chase. Were you Jen Chase at that point?
I was, yes.
Okay, so you were ready?
Yeah,
Yes.
because I was, my husband was a part of it too.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we finished off all those bottles, and then we added more recordings of
Yes.
the
We-
beginning.
Yeah, we did the opening. In fact, we actually had been drinking pretty well most of the afternoon.
Most of the opportunity,
And
yeah.
then
I felt.
we did that Lord of the Rings style opening. We did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was kind of an accident how that happened.
Yeah.
it was so great, and my imagination still kind of started flowing. And next thing
And
you
we
know,
just kept on doing one after another,
Yeah.
after another, after another.
Will, how are people can find us where?
they can find us on any podcasting platform at We Know Texas Vino. They can find us on Facebook at We Know Texas Vino, and then on our website, WeKnowTexasVino.
Wine.
There you go, folks. Heard it from the mouth herself.
So if they want to listen to this, how do they do that? Because I couldn't find us. Remember when I first got here?
So, Facebook algorithm is pretty horrible because even I had a hard time finding it. Now, after about 30, 40 minutes, it actually started popping up on my timeline. So if you just go to We Know Texas Vino, either our Facebook group or our Facebook page, you can find the stream there. And if you actually like us, it should automatically pop up on your notifications if you like us.
If you add notifications. If you
Yeah.
turn on notifications.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So we're out there. Come find us. Come see us.
Oh, yeah.
We're out here. Well, one of us is drinking wine. The other one has not.
What's the address again?
It's 409 North Oak Street in Roanoke. I don't know the zip code.
76262.
There you go,
It
people.
is right off the beaten path. It is, what's the street right here? The big one?
377.
The 377.
377 is right behind us.
Yep.
We've got,
114. So yeah, we're right off of Business 114. Or you can take 377 and go into Old Town.
because
Yep.
this is
Roanoke.
now the farthest west location well, that's not quite true. Locally here in DFW.
Yes.
Because the better
Yep.
location, of course, is 375 miles away from here.
Right.
They're further west than we are.
Yep. So
Just slightly.
So also our offer still stands out there for anybody that comes out here and brings us Heartache Barbecue. I will get you. Andy will buy you a glass of wine.
Did you hear her said that? I will get you. I mean, yeah, I will. Okay.
I'm texting Randall right now. I'm like, hey,
Well, he doesn't count. He gets free glasses anyway.
I didn't get free glasses.
Good for you. You know, there's
No, I
Charge
didn't-
my husband.
Hold on. I didn't say anything about anything in it. I just said free glasses.
Oh, Lord.
and I'm enjoying right now. You can see this if you're online. If you can, I'm enjoying the Turaldigo. It's
Yeah.
a 2020 Turaldigo. It's a northern Italian grape that typically has been used in Italy as a blending grape.
Yep.
You can already see some of the age on it, the oak aging on it. It's tasty as hell. I tasted this. No, let me rephrase that. I've had this variety before, probably 5-6 years ago, before it was a big deal in Texas, and now it seems to be,
It's growing.
yeah.
It's definitely, I mean, so that one was one of those kind of trial runs that we were doing. And then we also now also have the Graciano, which is kind of the same thing. So,
Yeah, Graciano, as a matter of fact, Graciano is, and I don't know if y'all are doing this, maybe you did, the Tempranillo is 100% or is it
it's
blended?
100% right now. Yeah.
So
We do have our Dirt Farmer is our Tempranillo blend.
which is what? Blend
It's Tempranillo, Morvedra, Dolcetto, Graciano, and Turaldigo.
okay, so it's got all those. Now, one of my favorite Riojas in general is just the Tempranillo Graciano, which, man, if you've never had a nice
Oh, it's so
Rioja,
good.
It's so good.
And it's it's so interesting because it does have that really dark, deep coloring to it, and then it on the palate, it's smooth. It's almost kind of like velvet.
But of
So,
course, though, you need to understand that Rioja, they age the wine. They don't release it until they think they're ready.
Right.
It could be, there's a minimum, depending on Crianza, Reserva, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. But most of the time, they know, they have the largest, matter of fact, my understanding is they have the largest underground oaking or storage facility in the entire world.
oh, I believe it.
Wow.
My understanding is they have miles, plural, of underground caves where they store and age their riojas.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Spain has some really, and then the main reason for that is because it's so hot and humid,
Right.
and so that just helps.
Interesting.
They're
Yeah,
underground. I forgot the feet underground, but I believe it's 3 stories, which would make it 30 feet underground.
something like that. Yep.
And,
Holy cow.
Yeah,
That's insane.
Rioja
Yeah.
Again, the Tempranillo here in Texas is fantastic. And we're going to say goodbye to Jen right now. I know
Yeah.
she's got to get back to work.
Yeah, she's got to get back to work.
And we'll be back. What? Soon.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to get Marissa over here. I'm looking at her right now, and she's not making eye contact with me.
Just avoiding eye contact as much as possible.
She's got that
Nope.
So thank you, Jen, for coming on here.
Thank
you for having us out here.
you.
We'll let you get back to your duties. and
All
stuff.
right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Jen.
Now, I'm going to forewarn you.
No?
I'll wait till she gets the headset on. Okay, can you hear us?
Can
Okay.
we hear you? Listen, we can hear you.
Well,
I don't know. Can you hear me?
oh,
Oh,
now she can
okay.
talk. So this is my Tempranillo that you're about to taste here, and you can give me that look like it's horrible. Just trust me, I'm very cynical of my own stuff.
Is this the one that's in the barrel, like the bourbon barrel?
That's the one that's in the old-fashioned barrel.
Oh, it's an old-fashioned barrel. Okay.
Yes.
But he did add a little ingredient.
Just hold on. Let her try first. I mean, it's very tart. I mean, it makes my cheeks pucker a little bit. And you can even tell me if you want to save off the more harsh wording offline. You can do that too. Okay. I mean, trust me. I won't.
It's actually bright fruit right in the front of the mouth.
Okay.
The acidity doesn't hit you till like the mid and back.
Right.
But it is. What is that? It's like having a boysenberry
Well,
or like
I mean,
a
when
really tart blackberry.
it was really high pH on it, and then I did the measurement instead of doing increments of tartaric acid. I did a big measurement of tartaric acid. Yeah. Hey, you live and learn, right?
Yeah.
If you don't
Yep.
know, you don't learn.
That is true. That is true. No, I feel like that's what I tell. I feel like that's what I tell all new winemakers is don't do a math formula on paper and then do your addition.
Yep.
Like do the math formula, but then add in increments, and you have to keep tasting and smelling.
Yeah. So this is my very first one. And if you tell me it's horrible, it's great. You can tell me off camera, off microphone. You're not going to hurt my feelings because I really truly, because the only way I know how to do this is.
It's not horrible. I'm telling you this. I've tasted wine for 20 years now, 30 years. It's not horrible. It's very acidic, which is a good thing because it's your first time, so it's very young. It's a 2023 harvest. I was there to harvest it, so I know what it was. It comes from the Texoma AVA, which makes it a place. And but there is Marissa, something in there that you don't know about.
Yes.
So here's the next part of
This is the special part of it in there. There's actually probably about that much of blackberry sage vodka in there.
So I wasn't off when I was like blackberries.
No,
Very tart.
no. There's a little bit of blackberry sage in there from an actual local distillery, one of my favorite ones, and they're 100% Texas distillery as well. So they get all their ingredients for making their vodkas and their gins and their whiskeys and the bourbons and all that from in Texas. They don't get it anywhere else. So yeah.
Wow.
And so I'm gonna keep it in the Texas tradition fashion and make it all Texas. So
That's really cool.
yeah.
I mean, it's definitely tight. It's definitely young. It is acidic, but I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say about it? You can. I know what I was going to say. What I always think about first is, can I detect or smell or taste a fault?
Mm-hmm.
And it is a fault-free wine.
Okay.
That is huge. The amount of people
I'm getting kind of emotional now that you just said that.
Emotional. I'm trying to tell you now. You're hearing it from her. Thank goodness.
I understand the acidity and wanting to soften the back end and the last part that goes down. I mean, that's, but it's not like that's still something you can work with. You can choose to blend it with another wine. You can consider different finishing products. There's like, it's not where you're like, shucks, there's nothing I can do. Just drink it or pour it down the drain or cook with it.
Okay. Nice. I'm like literally I'm choked up right now. Like seriously, like I'm a hands-on guy. I like to learn this kind of stuff, and I'm, like everybody else wants to be the best of what they're doing, and I want to be outside that box. I don't want to be inside the box. I want to be outside the box. I want to think outside the box when it comes to winemaking stuff. But this is not about me. This is about Marissa.
It is not about you. Wow. Did y'all hear that first on this show?
It's an exclusive.
Well, what Bill doesn't know is that I'm recording also. This is one of our podcasts. So I've got Marissa to my left here. This is live as well. So we're not competing, but we're doing this together.
We're doing it together.
Yeah, so hopefully you can hear a little bit about what Marissa's saying.
Yeah, you're getting double exposure here.
Will is saying we're at Bingham Family Vineyards, 409 North Oak Street in Roanoke, Texas. It's the fourth location, technically. Can people drink at the winery Meta?
Yes, they can. Since it's a working winery, we do ask to call ahead. Sometimes if you show up, you can always ask. But on some given days, the barrel room might be a mess. They may be topping. But I will tell you, people do show up, and we're like, okay, we'll try to accommodate you. And they're always the nicest people, and they work with us. But it's the working winery, working farm. Don't wear high heels. You might get a little dirt.
Oh, so Andy, go high heels.
Go high heels that day.
On another day.
Wow. We just found a new thing about Andy today. So before we get too deep, tell us about what we're fixing to drink here.
So this wine is hard for me to I almost have to like back up and bear with me and my ADHD. I may go all over the place.
I'm with that. Oh, look, see that squirrel over there?
So one of my head winemaker, Sam Jennings, he's had history and he's worked in distribution. He has a lot of connections. So we kind of threw that idea around getting into distribution. Like we've been self-distributed to Market Streets in Lubbock, just for our friends and family. Mm-hmm. But we've never actually had a distributor. So he started that conversation, and HEB was actually the first people who were like, yes, we've always wanted you guys. We want to have you in the store. And we just went into it going, do you want your own HEB label? Like, we have all the creative ability. We can do anything we want. And so we threw around so many ideas, and it's crazy. It's not like a master plan that I had from the very beginning. It just kind of kept evolving. And one of the reps for HEB was like, oh, I've heard about you guys, and I've heard about the Blake Eddy Scholarship with the Texas Hill Country. And so they were like, let's go in that direction. And, I think it's been a beautiful and in ways healing project for our family. Because October was 2 years from Blake's passing, and just it gives you something to do and gives us something to pour ourselves into in his honor. But then, kind of rabbit trail, it was actually literally, I think, 2 weeks after Blake passed. Mm-hmm. Mike Begtech, High Meadow Winery, called me up and was like, Marissa, we have to do something for Blake. And of course, like the whole committee and everyone on board at Texas Hill Country Winery Association, they were all for it. Okay. But Mike was a big push to make sure this happened. So they have...
A quick question.
Yeah.
Many of our listeners may not know who Blake is. So we talk about that for a second?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, a second.
Yeah, hit for a quick second.
Yes.
Because, I'm out there looking like they don't necessarily... My people are always your
True,
family.
true. So Blake is my brother. I have 10 siblings, 5 brothers, 5 sisters. Blake is actually the brother right after me. So I literally have no memories without him. He was just like my little shadow, always following me everywhere.
I hesitated to say that, but I think it's important people understand that we're talking about.
Yeah. And Blake was always, we would officially, we wouldn't say that a sibling worked for the business until they graduated high school. But Blake was not, he was not the classroom. Like, that was a hard place for him to learn. So he would just rush through homeschooling as fast as he could, and lunchtime be like, I'm done. And just, Dad, can I get on a tractor? Can I get outside?
Man, that sounds like somebody else I know. Except mine was motorcycles.
Yours was motorcycles. But Blake was an extrovert. Like, he loved people, and he loved doing things that brought people together. So I work in the family business. I work with all of our grape contracts to do all of our wholesale, bulk wine, bulk juice, shiners, grapes. And like, I had that logistics in the organization, but Blake was the the relational side.
Right.
And so he loved tagging along with me. He always, for anybody who bought grapes from us, he ran harvests with me. And in fact, like, he really ran the night cruise. All the truck drivers knew him. It was crazy to me this past harvest. I kind of had a wonky schedule. I was supposed to be on days, but I'd end up out at 2 a.m.,
right.
And I tell you, it was beautiful. I loved it. But every truck driver, every one of them would stop and be like, "Oh, you're Blake's sister." And they had a story.
Love it. Yeah, it's amazing.
Like, a truck got stuck and he went and got the 8,000 tractor to pull it out. One guy had a flat tire. Like, he was that MacGyver.
Yes.
He had that solution for everything.
Everybody has one of those in the family.
Yeah.
At some level anyway. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah. So yeah, he was an intricate part of our business. He worked in the vineyard. He worked during harvest, and actually just, I would say about 2 years before he passed, I was like, "Hey, you really need to get in the winemaking side." And he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to college."
Right.
I did the program at Texas Tech. Daniel did it. And he was just like, I'm not going to go back to college. And I was like, "Well, you don't have to." Because first of all, if you are not that type, you don't want to be in a classroom. Marine Qualia has an amazing online program, and you can just do the certificate through Texas Tech. So, unfortunately, he didn't actually get to do that, but he was gearing up to doing that program. And then I was like, hands on, just hop in the winery. And I was like, you're never going to get bored, because you will never learn everything in winemaking.
Yeah.
So that brings us to this bottle of wine we're talking about.
So HEB, they have a department and a program where they look to give back to the community.
And that's what I love about HEB.
I did not know that.
Yep.
So they have not specified how much, but for every bottle purchased, they're going to donate to Blake Scholarship.
That's awesome.
And it's called the Blake Eddy Scholarship Memorial Fund.
Yes. And this is an HEB exclusive. I don't know if it can, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it will only be at HEBs. And we are going to honor that with HEB.
HEBs across Texas.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And it will be every HEB that moves wine. So they know their stats, and they know that some of their stores don't really sell. But if you have, if somebody's listening and they have a local HEB, all they have to do is go in and say, if it's not on the shelf, and I will say the distributor is picking up the wine on Tuesday. So you got to give them a couple weeks. The distributor's got to pick up from us because it's just finished. And then they have to get it to their place, and then they have to. So it's going to take anywhere from a couple weeks to really get it in.
And this is a non-vintage one?
So it is actually a 2019. We did not put a vintage on the label. When you submit to TTB and TABC, I tried to kind of go with something that I wasn't going to have to constantly be updating.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a dry red blend. It's going to be a house red blend. This blend I made after I put together the Dugout and the Dirt Farmer.
Okay.
So we just got to have fun. We just got to play around.
And those are the best ones. Those are the best wines.
I mean, this one is really like,
It needs some hair.
it does.
So this is a 2019. I was just going to say that already has some age on it. You can see a little bit of the brick on the color there.
Mm-hmm.
And from my perspective, I mean, I'm really digging on this nose.
Yeah, I love. So I'm getting kind of like a dark plumish.
Mm-hmm.
Like immediately when I smelled it, I smelled dark plum on it. I love that smell.
The dark plum, it almost smells like cooked plum to me.
I get a hint of that reduced fruit.
Yeah,
Yeah. Immediately when you said that, it reminded me of my childhood of making plum jelly with my mom.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's jammy.
Yeah.
It's got that jammy smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Marissa. It reminds me of.
Now that's that sugar-free.
Zinfandel, kind of the old way. I love Zinfandel.
Yeah.
In general terms, it's my favorite variety. But that's kind of the nose I'm getting right at the beginning, which is like a jamminess. And
That is just. I love that taste. I mean, it's so you know how some blends you get it and they're really heavy tannic, or sometimes really heavy acidity, and you're like, but it's a very blended wine, very well blended wine because it hits every palate of my tongue, and then it just finishes really smooth.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, it really is kind of the kitchen sink. There's Tempranillo, there's Mourvedre, there's Dolcetto, there's Carignan. I think there might actually be a tiny bit of Graciano in there. Graciano and Giraldago have a lot of color for us. So I kind of throw
just a little bit in there.
If it's a Bordeaux wine or blend, I throw Petit Verdot in there to give it color.
so this would be considered meritage. Then.
Oh yeah.
Technically, from a
Nice.
winemaking perspective,
Yeah.
although that's a term that's owned by the people in California, but it means
Well,
blend, more Bordeaux blend. But of course, you just said it's Dolcetto, which is Italian grape.
Tempranillo,
Spanish grape.
well, you do know that we are bigger than California. We will beat them up. We can be bullies.
And we're different. We are bigger, we're better. More Texas proud as we always are. But,
Most definitely.
So tell us a little bit more about this blend. I mean, alcohol content is what, 13, 14?
Yeah, so 2019, we actually got 15 inches of rain during harvest. So like
What you said? 19?
15.
15.
15. I always get a little confused, but I think that was the year of Harvey.
Yes, it was.
So
Yeah, because
What?
Harvey actually caused my sister's house to come off of her foundation.
Yeah.
out in Aransas Pass,
wow,
and she's just now getting her house back together. A side note
it's
there.
insane. So what people don't realize is in the high plains, we actually can be affected by hurricanes during hurricane season.
Wow. Did not know that.
But it's so unpredictable. Like we never know. Like this past harvest, 2023, got some rains, but we were able to dodge them. I was pretty happy. We did pull our last day. We kind of pulled it's always an all-nighter, but we kind of pulled a 24-hour, and we just pulled everything before the last rain hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, 15 inches of rain in 2019. So,
And that's a lot of rain.
I would say in 19, I did have to bring some of the reds in sooner than I wanted to. I would have rather have let them hang a little longer.
And, that happens. Texas, that's probably...
That's why Texas is so good about their grapes, because we all have to. We like listen to me, my own vineyard and stuff. But everybody.
Here's his wine, guys.
Come on.
This is his bottle. You will see this on the shelf soon.
Have you designed your label yet?
Actually, I have somebody working on it right now. Yeah, and I already have a name for the name for that right there is going to be called Crimson Crush. I'll tell you the story off camera. And then I've actually got the name of my winery once I get it going. It's actually going to be called, and I'm actually working on copywriting it right now. It's called, it's in Latin. It says, "The wine is alive." but it's going to be in Latin.
I mean, it is.
I mean, we can discuss what wine can do for everybody. I mean, but again, this is not about me. This is about Marissa and Bingham.
So back to this bottle of Blake Bailey Scholarship Wine. It's 2019, so you're going to continue to use it. It's oak. What's the scoop on this? A little bit of a technical side.
Yeah, so it was oaked, I think, probably close to 22 months. A mixture. Now this is harder for me to tell you because all of my reds from 19, there was a mixture of new and used oak, a mixture. I mean, we're mostly American. We've recently brought some French in. That kind of depends on cash flow.
Right.
And so it's harder for me to tell you which barrels these were in because we've made and bottled the Dugout and the Dirt Farmer before we did this one.
Well, I can tell you, it doesn't smell new.
No, it doesn't. So now
it smells more Frenchy to me, which would lend me to believe that it's more of a used barrel versus a new barrel.
Now, have y'all thought about this? When you neutralize a barrel, have you thought about taking it to a cooperage and have them shave off a little bit to make it new again?
No.
It will save you thousands of dollars just doing that.
Well,
so James at OG Cellars actually does that. He will buy neutralized barrels, and he will take them, send them to a cooperage. He will buy the barrels for $500-$600, and then he'll turn around and send them to a cooperage for $100, $200. He said, and they will shave off the first half inch off of it inside of it, and it becomes a new barrel again because once it reaches a certain point, it can't absorb anything else. Mm-hmm. You just shave it all off and put it all back to barrel, and it's a brand new barrel again.
You do have to consider transportation cost.
Yep.
That process cost and transportation cost back. So what I've done, and Sam is all on board on this. He does this. He's used to this. Is we take that neutral barrel and we put spirals or we put wood cubes on chains. We put them in to the barrel.
And Sam, we're talking about Sam Jennings, their new
Yes.
winemaker who has
Nice.
taken over for their brother Daniel, who's decided to do something different. So Marissa and Sam are now the winemakers for.
Yeah. And Rogelio is our assistant winemaker, and he's such an incredible, hardworking guy. I mean, this past week, he's barreling down all the 23s because Sam and I are running around doing different stuff. So lately we've been checking in and been like, oh, did you barrel down? Did you check Ro is so capable.
Right.
We do not have to babysat him.
Wow, I just went blank. That darn ADHD, Yeah, I see. There's a squirrel. Right? You see Marissa over there?
I looked. This wine is changing.
Yes.
I'm really. This is true.
So okay, that was my question. So this bottle here every year will be actually a different blend.
Yeah.
So you'll never get two bottles the same.
No.
That is amazing. I see. That's what I like about that.
How many cases are you going to make per year of this blend, roughly?
So we started with about 10 pallets. So I guess 10 times 60. And we'll just, we'll see. HEB is excited. They're putting us on end caps mostly.
Wow. And for you grocery people, that, or non-grocery people, that is big.
So
Primary land.
So are they going to put this on their website as well, or are they just going to only offer it in store? You have some people that can advertise it on the website, but they can't sell it on the website. They have to come to the store and do it.
I don't know. I'd have to ask that question.
Okay, because I would be honored if we could actually put it on our website, but I'll link it to HEB so they get the credit for it. Find out.
I'd have to
Find
ask.
out, and then you know how to call me. I'm on Facebook. You can find Jen.
Yeah.
So
Now getting some molasses. What do you think?
I don't get the molasses, but I definitely get I still get a lot of plum because I love plums. I'm sorry,
Don't be sorry for them. Plums are amazing.
Yeah, I grew up eating wild plums off my grandmother's trees, and she got mad at me. That was the neighbor's plums we used to steal off their trees because it was so much that it was actually weighing the trees down. And,
Oh, yeah.
And we were taking wheelbarrows of plums, and it didn't seem like we get enough of them. So let's change topics here. So let's talk about this whole adventure about this location that we're at right now. So we got Jen's side of the story. You know, there's always 4 sides of the story when it comes.
Well, in my family, there's 10 sides, or 11, or 12, or 13. Yeah.
So tell us about your adventure about trying to get this open, and tell us how happy you are about getting this finally open, and the future for this location, and even I've heard rumors of possibly another location.
I mean, it's always an option. I think that Bob Landon put this false expectation in my head because he flipped Wiley in like an insane 3 months.
Holy cow. Really?
Right. Well, what I've learned is that he flipped an existing wine store. So it already had a bar, it already had a kitchen, it already had, this was, and I'm still learning so many terminology.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess this was considered a white box. So the building was done.
Okay.
The building was hooked up to gas and electricity. The building was completely done, but our space had dirt floors when we moved in.
Right.
It was complete. It was empty. There had been no tenant before us. So depending on county and cities, some will consider it a remodel and some will consider it a new build.
Okay.
And for whatever reasons, we were considered a new build.
I can see that.
And
yeah. Yep.
And so we had 10 separate different permits to pass. It was just.
Okay, wait a minute.
So lesson learned is don't do that.
You just have to you got to weigh it in how bad you want that location, because it always comes down to location.
So that, and also the city that you're doing it in also, because you may go through that right now here in Roanoke, but you may decide to go say Bridgeport and it might be a whole different ballpark.
Yes, it does. It does vary from city to city. Because I've heard stories of it took people 4 months to get building permits approved. And then I've heard, in Grapevine, 48 hours. They will turn those they'll turn those.
Yeah, y'all can't get a signing. Never mind. Sorry.
We're in a building.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit that thumb there.
Yeah, so Roanoke is actually the highest density in DFW of our club members. So that's actually was the driving force for where to go. Because almost 8 years ago when we opened Grapevine, if you lived in Roanoke, Trophy Club, South Lake, Westlake, it was 10 minutes. You fly over to Grapevine and that's where everything was. But in the last 7 years, it's just blown up. And we just started hearing more and more from club members who were just like, oh, we used to come here every week, but now we don't want to deal with traffic. We don't want to drive over there. There's right on Oak Street, there's 10 restaurants here now.
2 other tasting rooms.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which makes this wine heaven.
Yeah. This is when y'all said that, when Jen said y'all were opening this up here, I was like, that's just smart, because there is no winery in this area. I mean, Love Two Brothers. So the nearest one outside of these little tasting rooms was Two Brothers.
Yeah.
So this is prime location for y'all.
Yeah. So we looked at a couple different, but I was surprised when we looked in this area. I knew I wanted to push really hard to get 3,500 to 4,000 square feet. And I wanted patio. And we looked at 4 different places here on Oak Street.
Yeah.
And they were all around 4,000 square feet. But most of them were they had a main floor and an upstairs. And half the square footage was upstairs. Well, I don't really feel comfortable with people drinking if you don't have an elevator available.
Right.
And I'm not about to store cases upstairs. Can you imagine the delivery? All right, take all the cases upstairs for storage and then bring them downstairs to display them.
Yeah.
And so this was pretty much the only one I would even consider, because it's one level. And the outdoor, the patio is 500 square feet.
Yeah, the patio is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and if there was a fire pit out there, I would love to be sitting out there right now.
There's a fire pit coming.
I mean, I got some wood, and we can make a fire out there. I can't say it's going to be a pit. All right, I'll shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, you can keep on going.
No.
Oh, you didn't have to wait for him.
No, well, she's just because, yeah. They want to keep hearing her, and they hear her. They are all hearing her.
Yeah. So another good thing about this location is we actually have a mini kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Uncle's flatbread pizzas. We are going to be having more fruits and nuts, meats, cheeses, dips.
So people can buy a charcuterie board, I presume.
So we're gonna go oh goodness. What do
Here's
you,
your plate. Here's some cheese and call it.
well, so our
Cut your own cheese?
presentation is we got them from IKEA, but a board that has bowls on it.
Oh, see, that's
And
nothing wrong with
then-
that.
Built it.
Well, I mean,
Part of this thing.
right, and you can take them off. You can, but we're gonna do kind of like a pick your own, make your own board, so
That's
you can. And then charcuterie boards are actually, I consider, an art.
Yes.
And they're
They are.
very time consuming to make them. So this way you can pick meat, cheese, nuts, and basically everything is pre-prepped, and we just have measuring scoops.
That's a smart
We'll
idea.
have
Yeah, I like that.
and it's just very fast. Like in under 5 minutes, you can make something and get it out.
But if somebody wanted to have an event here, they could bring the caterer in, I think.
Yes.
Or do
So
y'all
we're saying no outside food or drink unless you're planning a private event, and then you just plan your private event, and depending on what you're wanting, we may or may not be able to provide it, and so then we would allow you to bring.
Yes.
Like I'm not baking any cakes.
Oh, come on.
No.
Just one. They're in the pizza. You make the cake in the pizza oven.
Okay, again, we're talking to Marissa now Dodson,
who is the winemaker,
who is the winemaker.
not a cake maker.
And she just said, I am not making any cakes.
Oh.
Bingham Family Vineyards here in Roanoke, 409 North Oak Street.
Yes.
It is Oak Street in Roanoke. So, yeah. And kitchen, but there's technically no, at least not from what I can tell, any private rooms yet.
No. So the private room is there's gonna be a glass wall, and that is on back order.
Okay, glass wall coming soon.
Well, actually, the glass wall's there. You just can't see it.
Oh,
And it looks really nice. I just want to let you know it looks really nice.
thank you.
Yeah, y'all worked really hard on that.
Glass wall?
Yeah, the glass wall.
Okay.
You don't see it?
It's so good. It's
She just got.
so clean.
It's so clean.
There's not any smudges on it or whatsoever. You just walk right through it.
So they also have here on display a camera. Not that, can you see a little bit? That's what we're seeing.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing right now.
Okay. Yeah, so you can see the wall back there. And if I point over there, no, it's over there. Well, I don't even know. I can't tell because
It's
Because it's flipped.
it's opposite of what. So if you actually look at this screen right
here.
if you actually look right here, this is actually real time right here.
So those are the medals you can see. Some look around. Looks like Houston.
We have Houston, San Antonio, Lone Star, and then we like to do the San Francisco and the San Francisco Chronicle.
How'd y'all do this year, by the way? You know? I don't even know.
I know that we got random medals.
Okay.
No,
wait a
but
minute. You said random medals.
well, like a mixture. Like we got double
Oh.
golds, we got silver.
Okay.
I think
That
that
was on our buddy's app.
yes.
Yes.
What is it called again?
Texas Wine Lover app.
Ah, yes. Okay. Yes.
One of our sponsors.
One of our sponsors.
yeah. No, Jeff Cope is very organized.
He is very organized.
No. A very interesting fact. For the first time ever, I judged at the Houston Rodeo Wine Competition, and I've never done that. And so I was talking to Amy Gross, who's the chair and in charge of getting all of the judges, and I was like, "Well, we enter wine," and she's like, "It's fine. They have the double blind." Like, I highly respect Houston. They go to high measures of being very professional.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I was on a panel that we had to ask for a re-pour, and it took like 15 minutes because of that process. So what a double blind is, the wine gets shipped to a place where it gets divided into categories, repackaged, and then brought to the Houston Civic Center. And the first people unpack it, open it, and pour it into the wine glass with their codes on it. And then it gets sent to the neutral zone and they pass off. And then a next set of volunteers take it into the judging room. So no one who has ever seen the bottle will be in the judging room.
Interesting.
I love that.
So,
Yeah.
we did an episode with Tiffany Kobe. Are you familiar with her?
Yes. Yeah.
So, and she was actually, we was out Live Happy Lane, which we did our episode, and she was talking about, she did a wine tasting. I think it was the Lone Star one that was here in Arlington.
Nope. Grapevine.
It was in Grapevine? Okay. And she was saying that one of the judges, instead of spitting the wine out, he was drinking it all, and all his scoring was so skewed.
No, they're very, very strict at Houston. But I mean, it was a fascinating experience because basically I realized like Houstonites, they are very proud of their rodeo, and it's just the wine competition event. They have over 300 volunteers.
Are you serious? Wow.
And so like we on our panel, I can't remember. There's like 25 panels. And it's a 3-day judging event. Like, it's insane.
So
we had one volunteer that all he did is just stand by our table, and they're like, do you need water? Do you need Topo Chicos? Do you need palate cleanser? Do you need crackers?
I would I want to need a large pizza from Domino's.
No. But they feed you. Like, you get there at 7 a.m., and they feed you breakfast. They feed you lunch.
Wow.
I mean, they are very focused on making sure it's a very healthy environment. So it can be very
cool.
impartial. But I was a little low on the totem pole, so I did have to judge the sweet rosés.
I'm sorry.
But you know what? I bet you found one you liked.
I did. There were some interesting ones, but of course it was the one with the lowest residual sugar.
But thank goodness.
Now, after your tasting, did you actually find out who you tasted and all that?
Yeah. So as a judge, we got to keep our papers and our notes, and then they send out an email with the codes connecting, so I could see.
Coded. There's no names on there other than say Tiffany Blend, for example.
Okay, so you don't know.
They'll tell you the category, whether it's a straight varietal or if it's a blend, and then they will give you a price point. So like you might be in the they do break them up. So like 15. I'm trying to remember, but like $15, $25, or like $35 and up.
Wow.
So they did. So that's like all you know.
Interesting. But you never know who the winery came from or anything at all.
No, not until so I actually judged one of my own wines.
How did you score it?
I actually gave it a bronze. But I had a sneaking suspicion. I will say that their Dolcetto, it was I judged our Dolcetto. Yeah. And I just didn't particularly love the aroma, but I already knew.
So, I mean, that's... Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of the things we're terroir driven, and we try to have low manipulation. So, and I know it's because I'm also a winemaker and I'm very critical of my own wine.
Right.
And we will never add coloring to wine.
Thank you.
So it's going to reflect not only the terroir, but the year, the vintage. It's going to reflect the vintage.
Right.
Why don't you tell our listeners what that means, manipulation, when it comes to...
Yeah, that's definitely an education point that we got to hit on one day.
So there's so many different ways to manipulate, and it's also interesting to find out different winemakers their term. What do they consider high manipulation and low manipulation? So for myself, like we do use tannins during fermentation, and so there would be people like dry tannin bags. There would be people who are like, "Oh, you manipulate your wine." Right. So it does kind of come down to, and also we use yeast, and we use yeast nutrients. And there are people you can find the all natural wines. They do not use any yeast. They do not use yeast nutrients.
But I mean, does it break down? I mean, if you use natural yeast like that, does it not fully break down like it's supposed to? I mean, it only breaks down so far until that yeast dies.
I mean, it depends on a lot of factors. You can. I mean,
as well as alcohol, sugar content.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can.
Bricks, I should say, because that's the
Yeah.
great
Right.
sugar.
Yeah. There's so many factors, and it also matters what bacteria you've got in your air. Are you close to a dairy? Are you close to a feedlot? Like there's
Yeah.
so.
This is how big the wine world is.
I mean, we were talking about this off air earlier with Betty. Like, it's amazing that even a little bug can come and land on the grape and change that composition of that grape day and out. Because, I mean, there could have been some sort of pollen that was on his foot or leg or whatever you want to call it, on an insect. It landed there and left it on there and then took off somewhere else.
And there actually is a particular bug that is detrimental to wine, and it's called the ladybug.
Well, no, there's the glassy sharpshooter.
No, that bug only pierces. But I'm talking about what'll change the flavor.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Texas don't have to deal with this, I know, but other areas of the country deal with the ladybugs, and
Is there other parts of the world that does wine besides Texas?
not many. Not many.
I know, Marissa, we're too much, aren't we? You can eye roll me anytime. I used to get eye rolls all the time.
Well, I feel like I'm trying to practice
Self-control?
channeling my inner Kylie Kelsey with the Kelsey brothers fame. I've found out more about the family, and I'm like, okay, like she's my hero. I'll try to. Have you seen?
That is Jason's wife?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you seen the podcast she's on? She rolls her eyes at her husband a lot.
Oh,
She is so down to earth.
What podcast is this?
the Kelsey brothers.
New Heights.
I guess I don't know this.
You're not into football, and you don't have a younger sister who is in the top 1% of Taylor Swift listeners on Spotify.
Yeah, no.
But you should, it's fascinating to listen
Well,
to some of these
the minute you
guys.
said Taylor Swift, I just tuned you right out.
Oh my gosh.
So you keep
All right, so you just said it again. I just tuned you right out.
oh my God.
So as long as you don't say the T word, we're okay. But the minute you say Taylor Swift, boom, I turned you off.
He just
Well,
turned
we
himself off.
can talk. We don't have to talk.
Oh,
about
hang on. Here's that mute button.
So back to the wines.
Yes.
Last thing, anything else we need to know about this? How much does it cost at HEB roughly? You have any idea?
I think you said it was like,
At
was
HEB.
it like you said 20 or?
It's
is
gonna.
the
It's like
value.
it's somewhere between $20 and $22.
That's it's a value wine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that the word we're using?
I think it's value.
No, somebody earlier had said you needed to
You
try
don't-
one of our cheap
No,
wines.
no, you don't say the C word in the winery at all.
I know. I
You,
agree.
you just
I
you
think
just
it's
literally
funny.
used it though, Andy. You just literally used it, and don't say that she didn't trap you on that.
We're on live TV.
We're not on TV either.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah,
I mean-
because Facebook Live makes it live. TV.
I mean, I guess you could say that. I mean, it's a monitor.
Somebody's watching it.
Oh my.
Now they're looking at us and like, look at these
In
clients.
fact, there's two people watching this right now. On yours, and there's two people watching it on mine.
Maybe it's the same two people.
It might be my mother on both of them.
Well, no, this one is
Has she-
their names.
Oh.
This was my cousin. My cousin
Oh.
watching.
Did you get a text from your mom saying that you need to not talk about that?
So what else
Okay.
is near and dear to the heart as far as this thing that people need to hear about? Specifically coming to Roanoke.
Yes.
What do you want people to know? Did I notice in the Bible there's a sign that says
Oh.
Bingham Family
This
Organic
is-
CBD.
Yeah, so this is we are not able to sell this at Grapevine. So this is a unique thing for Roanoke. So we were the very first growers of certified organic hemp in Texas. So we have CBD tinctures, capsules, and lotions.
So real quick. So how many guard dogs and guys with guns y'all have around there?
We
hemp.
we
It's
have
hemp.
0. It's hemp. It's hemp.
You know,
it is
you know,
it is a close cousin.
do you realize there's a lot of teenage kids that live in that area? They're like,
I-
oh, look at this.
So we actually have to test the hemp, kind of like grapes, going up to harvest. And if your THC goes above the legal limit, then and not only do they have to, my brother had to like test it, college to test it. He had to like report it to the local
Really?
agencies. And if we got above the legal limit, they would come and burn the field before we could harvest it.
Okay, hold still.
That's why there's no guard
hold,
dogs.
hold on. Wait a minute. So if the THC gets too high, they come out there and burn the field.
Yes.
And how many teenage boys were out there during that time frame?
All of my brothers, like when we were in the like intro.
We need to go harvest with them.
I think we need to go harvest with it. Hey, wait a minute. I think this THC is too high. Can I have a glass of wine? I'm going to go over here and stand out this burn pile.
So like the intro meeting with the local officials, giving all of the do's and don'ts and what you have to do if you're growing hemp. Of course, when they cover that, of course, one of my brothers was like, well, can we sell tickets to Texas Tech students when we have to burn it?
Can we grab a bottle there? Can we grab it, Will?
You know, yeah, hang on.
He's still here, but he's going to grab a bottle of tincture there. So you can show it to the people there.
So when I used to work for the city of Southlake and the city of North Richland Hills, you know, when they get through with all the drugs that they confiscated, there is an undisclosed location here in North Fort Worth that they go and have a huge hole in the ground that they drop it all into and they light it up. And I remember when I first started working for the city of Southlake, and I said, oh, y'all do that? Do y'all have to wear a gas mask and all that? And they're like, some of us don't.
This says bacon.
Yes. So
It says bacon on it?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I want to know.
Hold on. I got
it
no
does
more.
not. So I have not tasted that one. We have mandarin orange, tropical punch, spearmint, and bacon. So for various different reasons, we made all of them for human consumption, just to not deal. But that is really marketed for pets. And Kyle did taste it. He did take a tincture full, and he said it does not taste like bacon. It tastes like rotten meat. But I will tell you.
Now, why would you want to say that over broadcast like this?
Well, this is marketed for pets. This is marketed for dogs.
Oh, okay, I see it.
Like,
Okay.
Jen's dog Olive loves this. Like,
Okay.
all she has to do is just squeeze it on it on cheese, on his food, whatever.
You know, I have a Great Pyrenees. I wonder if that'll make her stop barking.
Well, now, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know if this is true. Smell your glass. But that smells like bacon.
yeah, because you talked about it.
I don't know. I smell bacon. Or is there so much bacon in pizza?
No,
it's true.
I think because we were talking.
Pepperoni.
I think it's because you're talking about bacon. Now you're naming. Okay, so back to the dogs on this. Don't change the topic on us like that.
Bacon. Not like
So this is more for pets then. This is not for
Yes.
human consumption.
No. I mean, technically,
Mandarin is human.
yeah. So technically, we made everything pass the human consumption laws. But I would not suggest consuming the bacon.
So what does that one say?
This one says, "Do not eat the bacon."
Really?
No.
God.
I like her. She's like, really?
So this one says mandarin orange.
Go up a little bit. There you go.
I'll show it to my people.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So we've already had club members try it in their wine.
Are you serious?
Yes. And like some of them weren't bad. They were doing different concoctions. But what we did find is that it messed the glasses up and it was very hard for us to clean. So I would not recommend doing that.
There's a couple of companies that came out 2 or 3 years ago right away, doing this stuff. And one of my associates tried to figure out a way to make it CBD enhanced wine, and it didn't work.
It's just
And
so
it
very
really
hard.
Changed the taste from a wine perspective, and I love wine, so it was not pleasant.
It's basically, this is an oil and the wine is water based. And so it's very hard to mix.
It's never emulsified.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's very interesting. I'll put that back
Have
on
you
there.
ever seen like the CBD waters? Like it's floating at the top.
That's gross. I've tasted it, and it's terrible. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so I need.
But they do sell that here, the point.
Yes.
Here in Roanoke at 409 North Oaks.
So I'm going to tell you my experience with CBD gummy recently.
Okay.
Okay, so I was out on a date, and I had never had CBD gummies before, and we both know that I have ADD, ADHD, all that kind of stuff, and I was told that these were really good for that. So I took a whole gummy, a Delta 8, okay, and then we went to Blue Goose, and we had their drinks that it literally says on the menu only 2 per person.
Oh.
And I had one of those, and the gummy still hadn't kicked in. It's been an hour since I've taken it, and I drank. So I went home, and 3 hours later, I was waking up being licked on the face by my dog because I had fallen asleep on the floor. Yes,
I
I'm
would
dead
never
serious.
recommend, if you're going to try a Delta 8 gummy, which is legal in Texas, don't be away from, try it at home. Because you just don't, everybody's different, and you just don't know how your body's going to react to it.
I learned from that point forward, don't do a whole one, do a quarter.
Yeah.
And then don't make plans for the rest of the day.
No.
That's kind of like NyQuil.
Yeah.
You know, it says on the bottle and the fine prints of NyQuil, once you drink, do not make plans. So
Right. Be home, have your doors locked, because you have no idea how your body's going to respond.
Let's go back to wine again. CBD. Is there anything else we should try that you're really passionate about?
Yeah.
That's on your shelf in your arsenal here of wines. I think y'all have 25 varieties?
No, we have 26 different varieties, but we have over 34 SKUs. Like how many? I love the Simeon, but you already tried that.
Yeah, Simeon.
We tried the Simeon.
Did you try?
Okay, I'm gonna say that Simeon.
Simeon was so
It
good.
smelled of like golden pears, like I remember pulling it off my grandmother's neighbor's yards, off the trees, and
So that'd
biting
be
into it.
Bartlett, probably.
Probably. I mean, I call it by the color. I mean, it was a golden pear, you know. And I hate pears.
There's Boston, and I don't think Boston probably would have. See, I have a degree in horticulture, so also a farmer as well. Back. So anyway, that Simeon
But
was amazing.
it was amazing. I
I'm
would.
trying to decide between Giraldigo, Graciano, or Petit Verdot.
Oh, you know what? You just cussed at me like that, saying Petit Verdot. I love y'all's Petit Verdot. Like I had like 3 bottles of that at the house, and I refuse to drink them because I know if the minute I drink them, I'm not gonna be able to.
Giraldigo is a fasted fruit,
It is.
but most people are gonna. I don't know that they'll love it. The Petit Verdot. What was the other one?
Graciano.
Graciano.
They're all 100%. Pick. All right, she's gonna go do a grab a bottle. In the meantime, I'm going to take the mic off.
I'm gonna mute her because you're shaking it, and everybody can hear it across the line and stuff.
Melissa's gonna go grab a bottle of something. I don't know what, and she's proud of it. It's gonna be either the Graciano, which is the Spanish grape, the Giraldigo, which is the Italian grape, and the Petit Verdot, which is a French grape. And we're going to taste that here shortly. So when you come out, you've got to come out here to 409 North Oak Street, Roanoke. Try these wines, guys. This is so good.
Yeah, the wines out here are amazing. In fact, this is probably the second winery I had really drank a lot of wine from because they were just right there outside.
Madison is going to bring a bottle.
Sorry, we had you on mute.
She had to go
there.
hunt it down.
What'd you have Jen go find?
What?
You said you had somebody go hunt.
Yeah, Madison's going to go get the bottle.
Oh.
I'm not telling you what it is.
Aha! He's going to try to look.
No, I'm not going to try to look. I can't see it now.
Because he's taking classes in Grayson College, and he's going to get there.
I'm trying, you know.
And not to mention, on February 21st, we will be having our first.
Oh, yes. We
Vino,
need to talk
Texas
about that.
Vino wine
You know
event.
about that, right?
I do. I'm trying to
Tickets are on
see if I can
sale.
fit it in my schedule.
We're trying to.
You know, it's
Only 36
us.
tickets available. As a matter of fact, we're less than 36 already. Less than 25 tickets already. But we got 3 weeks.
Yeah, we
before
still got
have
some
to worry
time.
about it.
Yeah.
But tickets are $55. You can come and check out the vineyard up there
Edge
in
of the lake.
Valley View, Texas, at Edge of the Lake.
Yeah.
You can meet the winemaker, taste some of their wines, as well as I will be presenting a tasting, Texas versus the world.
Yes. It's going to be fun. We're not going to say what we're having, even though you know what one of them
okay.
is.
She knows what one of them is,
Okay.
so she can't talk about that.
But you know what? She's not going to know when we pour them, though.
Correct.
Ah,
It's going to be blind.
okay.
So we're
Blind
going to poke
tasting.
your eyes out. No, I'm just kidding.
Blind tasting. One of the wines
Now.
that will be there will be
She's
a
scared.
Bingham wine. I will tell you that, but that's all I can tell you.
I'm going to have to drag my husband to this.
You should,
You should.
because been an honor to have you and Jason there.
It would be great.
It'd definitely been an honor.
It would be great.
It's kind of annoying because he has photographic memory.
But he won't know.
You know what?
Well, I know but that translates into when he was like learning and he went to Grayson, you know, and he did his training there. I feel like he just did way more homework than the average student. And he would just like go to the grocery store and just smell. And he would go to floral shops and just smell flowers. And if he smells something twice, like he has it memorized.
You know what she's saying? This is
That is
fascinating,
interesting. I like that.
When I teach my wine class, one of the classes I do teach is sensory perception.
Mm-hmm.
And the human nasal is mostly genetic. But there is a level of what's called neuroplasticity, which one can actually learn to be a good taster. It's not inherent. Most people don't have good skills at detection, but once you can develop recognition profile. And one of the things about that is fruit. If you want to increase your senses, go to the grocery store, buy a cassis, but you won't buy a cassis because actually it's a currant.
Oh, yeah.
It's an older currant. There's a cassis smell.
I'm glad you pushed that over there.
Mint,
It's making me nervous.
oak.
Yeah.
Bacon.
Well, because people say all the time that women are better at smell and tasting than men, and that's not true. Not in my marriage.
They're better only because
My husband is cleaner than me. He's neater than me. He's more organized than. I mean, I am not really sure what I bring to the table in our marriage.
Grapes?
That is actually very true. So, do you know who I'm married to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I work
You-
with Bob.
Okay. That's
So
all.
I gave her and Jason a really hard time. Back when I first started meeting them and getting to know them and stuff. You remember what I asked y'all, you and Jason? If you ever got a divorce, who gets the child support of the grapes? Who gets custody
No,
of the grapes?
I take credit for Bob losing the last amount of hair he had. We did not tell Bob. And in fact, we didn't tell Bob. Somebody else leaked it to Bob that we were dating.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember how many months we got away with it because I knew he would freak out. He freaked out. He called my dad. He was freaking out. He was convinced that we were going to break up, and then my dad was going to hate Jason, and then hate Bob, and then never sell grapes to him again. That's
Oh my
what he
gosh.
was very worried about.
I love Marissa and Jason. Both of them are great people, and it's an honor for her to be sitting right here and be able to get to talk to her and get to laugh with her. In fact, when she came in, I opened the door for her to let her in and stuff, and just immediately started talking to me. And I just, both of y'all are really great people, and I love both of y'all. And y'all are like instrumental to the wine community, and so don't let anybody else tell you differently, like Jen, because Jen will tell you differently.
She is legit going to hide this
Oh,
from
wow.
you.
I have never cheated in my life, except on my certification test.
So what I find interesting in the wine industry is
Tell us.
about half the people know my husband and half the people don't know my husband. And because his name is Jason Dotson, like our last name is not recognizable. And so if they don't know that he's the winemaker for Landon Winery, it's very unassuming. And the amount of people who have started telling me a story, and I'm like, do you know who I'm married to?
I know your story. You may tell you the proper way.
Well, and I will tell people the Texas wine industry is so very small. Like, if you say something, it will come back. Like, it will get out. And probably as soon as you tell gossip, the other person will start calling the people. I've had people call me on the phone and be like, "Oh, this person said this about you." It will always come around.
Yeah, I'll have a story to tell you
Later.
Yeah.
Okay.
later.
So,
All right. This
now you
wine.
tell us what it is.
Well, I know it's really dark, and I really like the darkness of it.
Red.
Yes, it's very dark red.
It's red wine.
So from the nose already,
I have an idea what it is already.
have an idea?
I have an idea just by the color of it alone and the smell. I have a pretty good idea. I'm hoping I'm right because I might.
Yes, without even tasting it.
I just tasted it a while ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And the taste of it may have just changed my mind on it a little bit, because this one particular one I love of theirs, I'm not going to say the name yet. I love it. And after tasting it, I don't think it's that now.
Well, just for the taste, I'm going to say it's the French grape, but I don't know what it is. That would be my guess, because it's a tannin. That would be my guess, which means it's Petit Verdot.
Well, that was the one I was going to go with, but you know what? I'm thinking Grosciano.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking Grosciano.
Well, I don't have enough of a relationship with Graciano.
Well,
Every time I have Graciano, it's usually blended with Tempranillo.
That's fair.
Also, I don't have a concept
That-
of that. So maybe I'm wrong.
So my first smell of it, it smelled almost like a Petit Verdot. It almost had that really full body smell. You know, how can I put it? That dark
The
cherry
gypsy
is, yeah. It just it felt like that. And then, you know, when I finally tasted it, though, it didn't have that taste that I'm accustomed with Petit Verdot. So so I'm
Do you have 3 bottles? Is your 3 bottles of our Petit Verdot reserve or non-reserve?
I have it stuck away in the back of my
Is it tan label or black label?
I think it's tan.
Okay. Do you want me to tell you yet?
Are you? If you're going to tell me that's a Petit Verdot, I'm signing off and I'm packing my stuff. I'm going home.
No, you're not.
This is our 2020 reserve Petit Verdot.
And that's probably why I didn't recognize it, because I do not have any reserve Petit Verdot.
Well,
So-
and the tannins tell the story in my mind. That is what the Petit Verdot is my favorite French grape. When I was in Arizona, I tasted a Petit Verdot that blew me away, just unbelievable. That's why I said the French grape.
But it didn't have the smell of the Petit Verdot, and I guess that's why I
It's
missed
Texas. This is the Texas note.
it. I guess that's probably why I missed it, because it didn't smell like the Petit Verdot
Well,
at the
I will
house.
tell you, so the tan label that you have is 2019 and this reserve is 2020, and they were very different years.
Okay, that would definitely do it.
So normally,
That's just nasty.
It's kind of in my ear, but that way they can hear
Okay.
what I'm saying. And
That's just
they're
nasty.
telling me that they can't hear me, so I'll put the mic.
Well,
in the,
well, then tell your listeners to turn their hearing aids up.
no. I just got it. Wow. But at least I am old.
Okay,
so
sorry.
normally my tan label is oaked for about 18 months. And the reserve label, depending on the variety, it is either oaked for another year or it's going to be bottle aged for another year. So originally when we first started, everything was oaked for an extra year. But Carignan, so in 2015, 16, 17. But I just find that Carignan, Dolcetto, Mourvedre, they don't necessarily need an extra year in barrel. They kind of get tired in the barrel. And so we taste through the barrels and we pick the best barrels, bottle them up in our reserve black label, and then we bottle age them for a year before we
Interesting.
release them. But
So that makes them 36 months?
yeah, it's about 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. But I will say currently we are not in our normal way that I like to do it, because in 2019 I had to pull a lot of reds before I wanted to, and so I chose because of the rain. So we do not have a single reserve in 2019,
Interesting.
and then 19 we had the freeze on Halloween, October 31st, Halloween morning. And so in 2020, we average harvesting 600, 700 tons of fruit each year. In 2020, we harvested 43 tons. We literally had, like, the 2 youngest sisters were on the Kubota, and they were just flying up and down and bringing back a 5-gallon bucket, because we had to harvest everything for insurance and do
Wow.
proof and everything. And in fact, one block, the sisters were like, there's not a cluster. Like, we can't even get a cluster. And my dad was like, go, I don't know, find a rake us, because we technically we have deer up in the high plains, but there's not very many, and so that we don't really. It doesn't.
It was a deer day.
Right.
Right. But in 2020, when you only have like 5 clusters, the deer get them. And so my dad was like, go get the rakuses. Go. We got to show them something.
I know a deer hunter.
There's a lot of rules about that.
As long as you have a license, it's okay.
No, it's also time.
It's time.
Oh yeah, the time. Yeah, I think it's like from October to the first of the year.
I don't know.
Right. But that's mostly after we're done harvesting.
Yeah.
But still, if you need a deer hunter, I know how to make.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
as someone said once, it's easier to get forgiveness than get permission.
I know. Who said that earlier today?
I don't know. Somebody. Some
Yeah.
famous guy.
So,
All right.
Back to
So
this wine. So what's the name of this one?
this is Petit Verdot.
No, it didn't have a name like.
Oh, no. This is just our reserve
Yeah.
Petit Verdot.
Oh, because
It's super easy.
The bottles have names of something.
Right.
Farmer,
Yeah. Yeah, we have our blends. Then we have all of our tan label varietals.
Got it.
And then we have our black label, our reserve varietals. So that's why I actually think we have way more than 35 SKUs now. But when we opened, people told us, "Oh, you're going to have to pare down your menu." But you've got too many.
How many was it? Roughly.
I think we're actually closer to 45 SKUs.
There's a place down the street that has 92.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's, but we just really have found in Texas, especially Texans are wanting to learn
Heck yeah.
and they want to try. And so our, monthly, our tastings change up. And so you can taste through all of our SKUs and we rotate, and we'll even rotate the reserves on and off, the tastings, too. Cause it's just, you can taste blends. You can taste over 26 different varietals. Granted, I don't necessarily bottle up a varietal every single year of every single varietal.
yeah.
Because it's just life. Sometimes it makes fruit, sometimes it doesn't.
So here's another thought. So you guys didn't know this, but somebody was playing the cello earlier with her sister playing the violin. Tell us about this musical thing.
Well-
because I don't know if you guys noticed. Let's see if you can see it. It's kind of hard with the sun.
There's no.
This one looks like a musical note as the logo. So now we'll go to this camera here.
And so I really liked it when you listen to you play. I mean, I miss playing an instrument also. I'm actually trying to learn to play the guitar, and it's not going very well because,
You kind of have to do it every day.
Well, they want, everything I've learned, I looked online, they want you to learn by playing the music. I don't want to play a song. I want to learn the chords first, play the scales.
You just want to learn tablature, so
Yeah.
just Google, or I can tell you that
Or
later.
Take a class. There's somebody in North Richland Hill that teaches guitar.
Well, when you are a poor white boy living on the wrong side of the
Look,
tracks,
you have wine as your value choice. Tool.
there are some people in this world don't take wine as cash value.
They're missing out.
They are missing out, and I offer up, hey, I will do this for you, or can you do this for me, and I'll give you a bottle of wine. They're like, I don't like wine. Well, let me teach you about wine.
So,
Okay, back to the cello.
most of my family, for multiple generation, we all play music, anywhere from like amateur to even professional level. My father, Cliff Bingham, he likes to say that on the early days of settling the High Plains, there's nothing to do. There weren't even, there were no radios. So his grandfather and all of his great uncles, they played a fiddle, a banjo, mandolin, guitar. And that was like entertainment at the end of a work day or weekends, just kick back and play together. And then Cliff he took lessons for years and years. He plays the piano. My mother, Betty, sang in choir all through middle school and high school. And then my mother homeschooled all of my siblings. And in the 90s, you kind of had to like work to find socialization. To find opportunities because if not, you're stuck at home and and you're kind of a little weird. We were still weird, but just in a little different way. At least we did socialize some, and I can have a conversation with you.
I know. Well, are we having a conversation?
So we all took lessons, and we were all in youth orchestra and did chamber music. There was actually a few sports available, so we did get to do some sports, mostly just tennis and track. But yeah, we all played instruments, and then mostly string, but we did like Hal plays dobro, guitar. I play the banjo. Daniel plays the harmonica.
Wait a minute. You said you play the banjo?
I do play the banjo.
I mean, immediately when she said that, I pictured her backwoods,
Oh my gosh.
because you know what? My grandfather used
She's
to play.
got all her teeth.
I do. I have all my teeth.
And there we go.
You said backward.
It's just I would never seen you play a band. I would never thought you would play banjo.
Well, so I now know how to improv on the cello, but I started the banjo because we were all classically trained. And then we got into like Texas swing, Bob Wills, fiddle music.
Wow.
And when we started playing as a band, I thought, well, there's no place for the cello. And so that's when I learned the banjo, learned
So
something.
y'all gonna come back on here a little while?
Yes. No, my sister and I will come. I mean, we're going to come back as soon as I'm done talking. As
All
soon as we're
right.
done
Oh, my
with me.
goodness.
Well, I guess we need to finish up quickly so we can let her
And
go.
here's some music.
Right,
And I
yes.
wanted to challenge you to play some of that Texas fiddle music.
Well, we can. We just have a violin and a cello today.
Okay.
You can turn the
We
cello
can still
up.
play
The
it.
fiddle would do the trick.
You know,
Yes,
Jack,
she can- no,
Jack
she
Black
can.
said that the cello is just like a bass guitar.
Right.
Just turn it up on the side.
I mean, or you just, you don't turn it. You
don't
just,
do, but,
I can do
But
it.
the sister's the one that has the fiddle, not the
Yes.
violin.
Well, you know, if she turns around and turns around, then it's a violin. If she turns around, and then it's
Exactly.
fiddle. Like
I
she's
know.
got both.
There's an interesting series
Yeah.
about that. There's some guys called four cellos or something, but they're all string guys, and they said, you know, the difference between, and he says, you just put your hat on. It's so funny. And you just put the hat on now to fiddle,
Yep.
Yeah.
depending on the clothes you're wearing.
Yep. It is. Well, you know, Marissa, it's been amazing having you sit here and talk. It's, you know, we can sit here and talk to you for hours on end. We love, so before Andy came on board here, you know, me and Michael, we always talk about you. We still talk about you and Jen in our episodes because, you know, it still cracks us up. But, you know, go ahead again. Tell our listeners about your Blake Eddy bottle here again and where they can find it.
So the Blake Eddy Scholarship is in honor of my brother who passed away 2 years ago. It will always be a house red blend. It will change from year to year based on, but it's going to be exclusively at HEB. And Blake he loved people and he loved to make people happy and he loved to bring people
That's
together.
awesome.
So we hope that this bottle would be an opportunity to bring people together and share a bottle of wine over a dinner table and build connections and bridges and bring people together.
What's the scholarship for?
Yes.
Oh,
Next
so the scholarship is the Texas Hill Country Winery Association hosts this scholarship, and I'm thankful because they do all the hard work. I don't have to do any of it. But it's for anyone wanting to learn or expand their skill in the wine world. So it can be viticulture, it can be enology, it can be tasting room managers. It's a
Interesting.
little trickier, but that you can apply if you want to be a WSET or do a SOM. That side, you have to get your details because it's a little different because they give the money directly to the institution that you're doing it with.
Right.
So depending if you
That'd
want
be
that,
tough, yeah.
you have to do it. But what I love about the Hill Country is they don't have. It's anybody who wants at any age to further their knowledge about wine
Right.
and anything that's going to support the Texas wine industry. So it doesn't have to be a formal 4-year bachelor's degree. It doesn't have to be a
Right.
formal university. It can be certifications. It can be Grayson. It can be, as long as you can pitch it to them, then there's a, reputable way of paying for it. And I love that because Blake wasn't like that studious classroom.
You're one of several.
I'm one of
entities.
I'm one of 11 children. Oh wait.
No, to the part of the scholarship fund. This is not just. That's not the one. Are other people donating to this fund?
Yes. So you can directly donate on the Texas Hill Country Winery Association website and directly to with us on our website in our
So in
tasting
care of
rooms.
Blake Eddy,
Yes.
That's the choice. If one
Yeah.
could go directly to them,
Yeah.
I could donate to them, or
Right.
by purchasing these wines,
Yes.
that's indirectly also.
The Hill Country, the Texas Hill Country webpage is actually super user friendly, and when you get to the page for the scholarship, like they literally have a drop down and it says Blake Eddy Scholarship.
I will make sure to get that on our website also.
Okay. Yeah.
Just to in honor of your brother also.
Like,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. Well, Marissa, I know you got other things to do here besides sit and talk to us. I know you want to talk to us all day long, because you have nothing else better to do if you did that. But thank you for coming on. Thank you for allowing us to be here. Thank you for your family for allowing us to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing us to promote the Texas wine industry.
Well,
And
we do appreciate you and both of you guys.
and unfortunately, Michael's not here. He'll be here later. Unfortunately, he has this thing called a job. And if you don't have a job,
He
you
is
can't pay bills.
he is a very responsible man.
Somebody has to be.
Unlike
Wow.
And I think you're supposed to be in class today.
Yeah, I'm skipping class today. Well, again, thank you for having us out here. And so this is Will. We're going to sign off for just a little bit, and we'll be back in a little while.
Bingham.
Okay, folks, welcome back.
Testing.
We are back, and we ran into our roadie,
Yes.
Randall, or as I like to call him, Randell, to give him that sine qua qua.
It's kind of like Target instead of Target.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the joke of it is we wanted to church up Randall's name a little bit, and so when Randall's in my phone as my contacts, he has a little hyphen at the very end of his name for Randall.
I think it works.
Yeah,
Still showing this.
yeah. Give it about 30 seconds.
Oh, I keep forgetting we're on delay.
Got a
just
little-
in case somebody says something they shouldn't say.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We've got that mute option.
I don't have any control over that. That's
you
FCC.
don't have it.
I have zero control over that.
SEC?
That is the FCC.
Is that right?
Yes. After the whole Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake incident,
But how did they?
None of us want to have a wardrobe malfunction of any of us at this juncture.
well, if there's a wardrobe malfunction here, then there better be a lot of wine involved.
Yeah, we'd be in big trouble.
Yes.
We'd never get invited back.
That, and they will probably call animal control on all of us. So, Randall, how
Yes.
you been, buddy? We haven't seen you in a while.
It's been too long.
I know.
It's been too long. I've been doing well. Been working. Finally got 1 year at my new job under my belt. So that's it's
awesome.
been nice. I've gotten to the point now where I actually know that I don't know what I don't know.
That's
if you know.
I think it's about like 90% of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
tell us how happy you are about this location. I mean, I can't speak today.
man, this location is just. If you haven't been to Roanoke, their downtown number one, it's a really, really cute little downtown area. But the Bingham's location here specifically, you walk in and it seems like it's been here forever.
Right.
But it definitely hasn't. I remember the first time I looked through the windows and saw a dirt floor, and and Jen saying this is going to be our new location. And I was like, we sure about this? But it has turned into just such a lovely location. I don't know if you can hear the music playing in the background, but it is packed to the brim with folks. We've got just the decor in the building, everything about it it's awesome. I'm very excited about this new location, and I think it's going to be good for the community to have a good, solid, sustained wine company.
Yes.
And just
here.
so you guys know, this is the Mr. Gin Chase.
Okay. I don't know if he wants to be called Mr. Gin.
Hey, I
See,
will.
this is the
I'll
way-
accept it. I'll accept it.
She's the boss here, so I just thought that would be.
Oh, yeah.
He's obviously not Mr. Chase.
I'm just the
But-
arm candy. That's all there is to
The
it.
arm candy.
Candy.
He is also, if y'all remember, we had an opening where it was kind of like Lord of the Rings style opening. This
That's
is
right.
actually the voice of that also.
In a world where one man comes to find grapes. That's right.
I really think we should make that like a little series.
I think we should.
I think we should write a whole script out and make that a little 30-minute mini series.
We could do our own little series of just overdubbing different things. We could overdub different movies.
Yes.
What was it? There's that Honest Trailer YouTube channel.
Yes.
We could do honest wine labels. And just
we could do a taken grapes, start from, being planted in the ground and then get taken later on. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're at, but you're crushing my kids.
I have a very special set of skills.
I think we should look into that.
I think, if anything, we'd have fun doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that the most important thing?
I don't care if we have 0 listeners to
No, that we would.
So, as some of y'all know, and from our Fredericksburg trip, Randall was our quote-unquote unofficial roadie.
That's true.
And there are some pictures out there circulating where he literally was carrying everything for us about 2 seconds. We think we kind of bogged him down a little bit, and he was like, I don't want to do this no more. I quit.
No, I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. Anytime I get a chance to, just help out, I'm happy to do it. So
yeah,
it was a lot of fun. And we got to visit some really fun locations on that trip. And
we did.
Every conversation we had opened up a Pandora's box of other potential conversations. So I feel like had anybody been writing things down, we could have had our own book right then and there.
Oh, most definitely. Now, so if you remember all the wineries we visited in that trip.
Is this a quiz? Am
Yes,
I going to be?
This is a quiz. So which one of all those wineries we went to that day? We were in Fredericksburg that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So out of all those wineries we went to. Yes. We did 6 in 2 days. 5 in 2 days. Something like that. I don't remember. It was a blur.
It was.
So which one of those that you remember that we did
Mm-hmm.
that you remember that you loved going the most?
Slate Theory was really fun.
It was.
Just because getting to go in that underground bunker type area and the labels and just hearing the story was really fun.
Yes.
Yeah, that was. I think that if I had to go back and pick a singular location that I really enjoyed, that would be it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That was definitely probably one of the most unique wineries I've been to thus far.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, obviously every winery has their own uniqueness because that's how they get people in.
Right.
But that was definitely, building a underground cave to store your barrels and to have a tasting into, it's kind of almost medieval.
It is. That was a lot of fun. What about you?
Oh man, I think my highlight of the trip was going to actual Hilme's to talk to Michael Barton.
Oh, yes.
Sitting there at 10 a.m. We literally been drinking that night.
Yes.
So if you don't remember this, but we drank 12 bottles of wine that night.
I do remember that. It was. I don't know how we remember all that.
Let's see. There was you and Jen, Michael and Erica, me, and then Jeff and Amy left earlier the night, and then we could.
Yes.
Okay, I believe that.
Well, but some of us drank more than the others.
Who shall remain nameless.
I'll refuse to say anything. But
it was a lot of fun. We had a great time.
But then we got up the next day. Some people couldn't function without water and coffee at the same time.
Intravenously, if I remember.
And then we went to Michael Barton at Hilme, and we started drinking wine out of the barrels at 10 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Now that you mentioned that so what I loved the most about that was just the passion of hearing the passion behind Hilme and yeah, I mean that's the first time I'd ever had wine straight from the barrel.
It's pretty awesome.
That was amazing. That was just for fun's sake. It couldn't be topped.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So our biggest goal though, as you know, and with Jen been on the podcast, and even to this day, our biggest goal is to bring and socialize about Texas wines and stuff.
Yes.
And coming here to Bingham Family Winery at this location, and you helping Jen out because I know that there was a lot of restless nights. And I know you were up here helping her some nights.
Some nights.
And sometimes I think y'all actually had a bed in the back. You already sleep here, so y'all didn't have to leave. But I mean, you're instrumental in this, helping get this open just as much as everybody else who put their hands into this, and so you probably get that unsung thank you in the background. So, but I'll tell you what, if no one else tells you, thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. I get free wine, so that's plenty of extras.
I think that's a part because you're married to the person.
Well, that's true. That is true. Yeah.
I mean, even if you didn't help get this place open, you're gonna get it anyway.
Well, I don't know about that. That could have deeply decreased my ability for wine if I didn't help.
Well, I mean, that could be a possibility.
It was first when we were dating. I got to volunteer. But then as it progressed, I was more voluntold. And, the reality is I still enjoyed it just as much and still love getting a chance to come out here. And, it doesn't hurt that it's A, great wine, B, great people, and C, great location. So,
yeah. And I will have to say this, and I don't know how well you know the Binghams, Andy, but from what I know of the Binghams, I mean, from day one that when we started doing this podcast till now, and even going forward, I mean, they've treated me like family, and they've treated me like Michael like family. And yes, we only see them maybe a handful of times a year and stuff like that, but they still, they treat us like family. And that's one thing I love about the Texas wine industry is that once you've talked to them, you've been in their house or their tasting room, you're now family with them.
Well, and so I kind of got familiar with these guys in 2012 before the 2015 Grapevine tasting room.
Okay.
Because I was doing a lot of stuff with the Landon Winery.
Okay.
And they source a lot of their fruit from the big farm vineyard before they started doing this thing. So
yeah, very cool. So,
and I know I had to get permission from Cliff and Betty, and approval from Cliff and Betty when Jen and I very first started dating. I was told that I had to get permission from the family and from her bonus family. So I still definitely remember the first time I met Cliff. I was just as nervous as I was when I met Jen's actual dad.
What it's kind of like.
that is
So was it kind of like the Don? So you want to keep the powder?
Yeah. So tell us about yourself. You what are your intentions?
Oh man, Randall, it's so great to see you again, buddy. I'm so glad you stepped over here and had just a moment with us. We hope to get to see you again very soon.
Absolutely.
Now that everything's kind of dying down, I know that I've talked to you about doing some episodes on a Saturday because there's some wineries only open on Saturday. So
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be fun. So, but thank you for taking your time to come over and chat with us for a little bit.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, brother. Have a good one.
Great chatting, y'all. Take care.
Appreciate it.
So everybody, welcome back. We're back for just a little bit here. We're kind of at a lull moment here at the winery. It seems that a lot of people are here. They're enjoying it. We're getting a lot of good feedback from the people that are really happy that this Bingham location is here. In fact, actually, I was just talking to a couple while ago that was looking at us trying to figure out what we were doing. And I actually went and talked to them and told them that we're a podcast and we're talking about Texas wines and stuff. And they were kind of actually shocked at how many Texas wineries are in Texas. So, and that's actually what it's kind of shocking that people don't know how many wineries are actually in Texas. And then the next question that follows up right after that is do they actually have their own grapes? And I'm like, yeah, majority, probably about 95% of them actually have their own grapes, and they outsource the rest of it from different parts of the country. And again, a lot of people don't know that. And that's what we're here for. We're here to educate and let people know because, Texas wine industry is becoming a big thing. And
I think it is a big thing. We're talking about a $5 billion industry already, so that's pretty huge.
Oh yeah.
Maybe bigger than that right now. But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping within the next 2 to 3 years, probably 5 years, that we're not number 4 or 5 in the industry. We're number 1 or 2. But Texas itself is a very volatile state. I mean, because one year we can get perfect weather, the next year it's all ice and stuff, and then the next year and then the next year it's all rain and everything, and then the next year after that it's a heat wave, and then it recycles again. So we can never get the same weather twice.
Never get the same weather twice, but that's also what makes our wine so different and so exciting, because you're going to get differences. And hopefully there are many winemakers like these guys here at Bingham that make low manipulated wines, minimally touched, minimally messed with, if you will, strictly Texas fruit.
Yep. And it's amazing. We were actually talking to was it Marissa or Betty earlier? Marissa or Betty Bingham, that there was a lot of extra grapes this year that wasn't purchased. I mean, there was a couple of vineyards that actually ended up purchasing it also that didn't go to waste. But they said after that was purchased, there were still a lot of extra
grapes.
And I know that this year financially for a lot of wineries was tough because it was so hot, people didn't come out. And yeah, I get it. If you don't have the money, you can't buy. But we should start looking into buying more Texas fruit. You know.
People just need to get out there and try. And that's what we're here to do, as he said. We're here to educate. One of the things I'm going to educate to myself about is I tried today their 2019 Petite Verdot. Did we both try that?
No, we did not do the 19. It was a 2022.
2020 Reserve Petite Verdot.
Maybe it was. Yeah, it was a reserve. It was. Yeah, it was definitely. It was. It wasn't a 19 because we were talking about my 19s that I have at the house.
That's right. They're out there. And they have the Petite Verdot, the Reserve, which is unbelievable.
Yes.
I was so impressed with that Petite Verdot from the Texas High Plains at Bingham.
Yep.
Up there near Lubbock. Up there, what's called Meta. M-E-A-D-O-W. Right?
I thought it was meadow.
Pronounce it Meta.
Well, I'm from Texas, and anytime we see the word spelled out like that, it's called meadow. No,
Yeah, whatever. Because those Texans up there, they're proud of their little West Texas area.
Oh, yeah.
West Texas, it's 378 miles northwest of Dallas.
yes.
5.5 hours is what the way I clocked it.
It's crazy. You know, they call that West Texas, but anything from Plano, but Palo Pinto west of there is all West Texas.
I don't know what Palo Pinto. What's there?
Palo Pinto is west of Mineral Wells and Weatherford. So if you take, I believe it's 180 west instead of 20, you take 180 west. You go through a little town called Palo Pinto, and then you run into another little town called Breckenridge, and then you keep going a little further, and you run into a little town called Albany, and then you keep going Albany, Texas, and you keep going a little bit farther, and you run into Abilene, Texas.
Huh, about that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep. So, but anything west of Palo Pinto is considered West Texas now.
Well, that's fantastic. You know, I'm from Texas, and I don't necessarily know these things because I don't travel to the west very often. At least not on
purpose.
on horseback.
Are you trying to call me old?
Well, apparently you do a lot more, but you do a lot of bike riding.
I do a lot of motorcycle riding. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I've been over majority of the state on a motorcycle, and it's a beautiful state. You know, especially on a bike. You get to see things that you normally don't get to see when you're in a car.
Oh, and here it is, in Snyder, Texas.
Yep, Snyder.
Roby.
Yep.
Or Robbie, I'm not sure.
I think it's.
Albany's right there. Yeah, so you keep on going. That's pretty fascinating. And then
Yep.
it takes you all the way to Highway
It should.
87 to Lamesa.
Yep.
And it's pronounced Lamesa, by the way.
Yep. It is Lamesa.
Simolo, Texas.
Yep. Simelo,
And then now you're into Hobbs, which I believe that is in
Mexico.
New Mexico.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yep. Or you can actually hit Highway 20, and you can go through Pecos, and then you can go down to 10 if you want, and go to Fort Stockton and Mount Davis or Fort Davis. You know, all that kind of stuff out there.
Well, since you brought that up, that's a good segue. I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about Texas AVA. I love talking about AVA. Mesilla Valley, Texas. It was the first AVA. It was established in 1985. And AVA stands for
Agricultural.
American Viticulture
Yes.
Area.
I knew it was viticulture, but I couldn't remember.
The first A. So not agriculture. A lot of people do say that agriculture. It's American Viticultural Area. And then Bell Mountain in 1986 was created. And then Fredericksburg in 1988. And then Hill Country AVA was in 1991. The thing about that is that Fredericksburg and Bell are both inside Fredericksburg
Correct.
AVA.
Yep. Which is kind of weird having multiple AVAs within an AVA. You know, I mean, like they're trying to do one up here for Texoma and trying to do what is this called, the Cedar Hollow or Cedar Tree or something like that AVA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Familiar with that.
Yeah, they're trying to work on that one right now. And then, of course, you know, we were over in East Texas just recently, and they're trying to get one over there.
Yeah.
You know, I try to get it called Kiefer Saw or Piney Woods, but, you know.
I think Piney Woods is a good term, although as Terry put this down there in Keepersall is that they're on a salt dome.
Yep.
So their soil is a little bit different than, let's say, some of those down the road.
Yep. So they could actually be essentially their own little AVA,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Literally,
They're
yeah.
vineyard.
Yes.
Well, you know, and in Napa, the valley is inside Napa County area.
Right.
So there's, again, that's another what they call nested AVA.
Yep.
So do you know when High Plains became an AVA?
Sometime.
Yes, I said 88 was Fredericksburg, 91 was Hill Country. So, what would you guess?
I'm gonna say like 2015.
1993.
Yeah. See.
Plains AVA was invented. And then he mentioned Fort Stockton. Well, Davis Mountains AVA became an AVA in 1998. The last one was close to what you just said, Texoma AVA in 2005.
Right. I knew that one was just recently.
And recent meaning, what, 18 years ago.
Well, I mean, when we talk about that kind of stuff, yeah,
I agree. I think isn't that funny though that recent is 18 years ago.
yeah,
People around the world are saying, well, Texas has been growing grape for so long, but you know what? We're still a fledgling company, a little teeny tiny winemaking area, and yet we're already number 4.
Yep. And you know what? And it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Because I mean, there's more people seeing that the value in making the wine, the soil. It's kind of like back in what was it? 17, 1800s where they were doing cotton around here. I mean, they were growing cotton like it was going out of style around here. Now it's switching from cotton now to grapes.
As a matter of fact, the Bingham started growing cotton.
Yep.
In what year did they do that? 1952.
Yep.
Actually, that's not true. 1952 was when the Binghams. Yeah, that's when they started cotton.
Yep.
That's right, 1952.
Yep.
So it's been a while.
Yeah. So I think honestly, one of the things about the agriculture that I've learned over the years is that doing agricultural overturns. So one year you plant one thing, and that vegetable or whatever you planted eats up all that nutrients out of the soil, and you switch over to something else, and then you switch something else, and then you go back to that. Well, what's amazing about grapes, you don't have to worry about doing that. You can plant it, and for the next however long you want to keep them there, you can continue growing. Yeah. Or more. In fact, actually, do you know what the oldest vine is in Texas and where it's at?
I do not.
It's up in Newcastle, Texas, at the fort up there in Newcastle.
Where's Newcastle?
Up north of Graham, Texas.
Okay.
Up north of Breckenridge, Texas. So there's, I think it's actually called Fort Alany, I think it is. I could be wrong, but it's the oldest vine in Texas. And actually, our own Michael Cook from Texas A&M had to go out there and help kind of trim it up a little bit because it was actually getting out of control. And they were actually thinking about
vine.
Yes.
Vine, one vine.
Yes. Yeah, it's I think muscadine.
Okay, well that would make sense.
Yes, and so they've actually have a what is it called, where you have like a little brush arbor where it grows vines on the top, and you have its little. So they got the vines growing on that. It's growing on a fence, and he's gone out there and when he cut some trimmings off of it, they got upset because they were like, "Oh my God, you're going to kill it!" And he goes, "No, trust me, this is going to make it grow better." And sure enough, when he did that, it's kind of like you was talking about haircuts, you shave once and the next time it grows back, it's thicker. You shave it again, it grows back thicker. That's what that vine did. And it grew bigger and it's better. In fact, actually there's pictures online. I'll post it on our Facebook page about it. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I don't know anything about that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the wines we tasted. What was one of the wines you tasted today so far that's been really good here at Bingham?
I don't think there's not one that I've not drank here that's not good. In fact, actually, the first one that I drank when we got here was that Semino. Simeon, sorry. I'm a Texan. I enunciate things properly.
Sure did.
But, I mean, that was amazing little wine there. Right away, I got a lot of good pear out of it. I'm not a pear eater, but I love tasting, things that are with pear. I love eating pears, like cobblers and stuff like that. That's been cooked down. And that was a really good wine like that. I mean, I would definitely love to sit and eating some sort of white fish with it.
I'm hungry now.
Like dolphin,
We're really getting hungry now. We are awaiting the arrival of Uncle.
And explain who Uncle is.
Well, I was hoping Uncle would help explain who he is, but it's called Uncle's Family Kitchen. And if you've been around many vineyards over the last few years, probably, from Fredericksburg on up to the High Plains area, up here, of course, DFW, Uncle's Family Kitchen does a lot of the pizzas. He makes pizzas. They're really a manufacturing kitchen, and they manufacture these pies, and then they freeze them and they ship them all to all these wineries.
You know, what's funny is I never heard of him until I got here.
Oh,
Yeah,
probably eating them though. You didn't know that you were eating Uncle's pizza.
possibly.
Possibly. They also do frozen lasagna. They've got noodles. They've got all kinds of product that they make here locally, and they source almost all of their product from Texas.
Really? That is fantastic. I mean, I love hearing about Texas only companies. You know, in fact, actually, one of my favorite distilleries that I talk about and I brag about a lot is Acre Distillery down in Fort Worth. You know, everything they make, from their vodkas to their gins to their whiskeys to their rums, everything they get is from Texas. They do not get anything outside of Texas for it. And I support them. I mean, they're Texas owned and Texas proud, and they get everything from Texas. And why not? We have a state that can provide everything you need to do that. You just got to choose to decide if you want to get it or not. So
none of the wines specifically that you wanted.
Well, I mean, that was one I really remembered. I mean, but I mean, it was a white. You know, from my crossings of people in this world, you know, you either have a white person or a red person, or a rosé person. You never have both, and that's a very rare. But when you talk about people who like you and I who drink wine all the time, we will drink all of it, but we have one that we prefer to drink over the others. I'll drink it all. I don't care unless it's sweet. I won't touch it. But I mean, I'll drink anything because I mean, if it's good wine, I'll drink it. You know, I like to cook. I want to cook with it. I want to drink it with it. You know, so I don't. If it's white, I'll drink white. If it's rosé, I'll drink a rosé. It's just in the mood I'm in. You know.
I love cooking with wine. But in fact, sometimes I'm cooking with wine so much that I forget what I'm cooking. So I just keep on.
Well, that means you're drunk.
What I call cooking with wine. But then I just say that I ate a fruit salad. Which grapes are fruit.
I mean, yeah, it's a fruit, you know, but it doesn't have no whipped cream on it.
Oh, no, never whipped cream on my fruit salad. No. Well, one of the wines that I did enjoy, also speaking of the Simeon, it's a French grape from Southern Bordeaux, which our listeners can understand. Southern Bordeaux. It's, of course, they grow it here in the High Plains. Again, that was really good.
That Petit Verdot?
No, the Simeon.
Oh, the Simeon. Yes, that was good. You know, and I will have to say I love the Petit Verdot here. You know, Petit Verdot is one of those other ones that I really enjoy a lot. I like to cook with it as well. You know, in fact, every once in a while when I do make gumbo, I like to pour maybe a little cup of that in there in the roux, along with the tomato paste, so that way it kind of cooks together. Oh yeah. I want to make you some gumbo.
Well, he's been saying he's going to make us all kind of food. Just waiting for risotto.
I made it. You wasn't there. I made it like 3 nights ago at my house. I invited you all.
I wasn't there. He is correct. Okay, so it's his way.
I don't know. I'm looking at him. He's got a spatula in his hand. He's trying to. Looks like he's about to slap me with it. Is what it looks like. I'm waving at him. He's over there. He's looking at us like he's trying to cook some pie as fast as possible.
You can probably see him back in the back there. See, I'm pretty. Yeah.
Here he comes. He's gonna come and he's gonna look at us and he's gonna give us a quick hard time.
The pizzas are so good. People are getting one and they're getting two. It's like, hey, keep up
This
with
is
them.
Uncle. So now you're
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I got to get back. Like,
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
still
good.
backed up. Let's go, man. I'm here.
So it's gonna be probably a little bit more. So it's no big deal.
Okay.
We'll get him before the end of the night at least.
I just want to let you guys know we're still here. We're going to keep the video going here and see what's going on in the vineyard.
Now we can see your head right now. It's all we can see. And it's not a vineyard. There's a tasting room.
Oh, that's right. It's a tasting room. The grapes came from a vineyard.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah, we are at Bingham Family Winery over in Roanoke.
What's the address?
It is 409 North Oak Street in Roanoke. And there is parking spot literally right across the street. So when you get done drinking and buying your bottles of wine, you can walk right across the street and get back in your car and take right off.
As long as you don't, drink responsibly.
I'm glad you said don't drink and drive, because if you come here and drink, you're going to drive.
You don't drive. No, that's why I said drink responsibly. And again, if you didn't hear us earlier, they do sell here in Roanoke location organic CBD
Yes.
because they do grow hemp up there in Meadow, Texas.
Yep. So, all right, guys, we're going to check out for a little bit. Now, your favorite person, Michael, should be here in a little bit, hopefully, so y'all can at least see his face and say hi. So we will be back shortly, and we'll talk to y'all in a bit. Right now, and everybody can see us and hear us on Facebook.
Hi, guys. Yeah, that's exciting. You know, what's funny is I was a little worried about you, Will.
Why was you worried about me?
Because you sent me a picture of yourself drinking, and my response was, Will, make sure you have your senses together when I arrive.
I have 0 cents because I can't afford it. He has not.
Is this my glass?
No, that's not your glass. That's my glass. We'll get you a glass.
All right.
Yeah, but we've been, people's been sampling my Tempranillo.
That's your Tempranillo right there.
Yes, that's my Tempranillo.
That's pretty cool.
I actually had probably the best compliments that I had from it
Tonight.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try it.
So I feel good. It makes me happy.
Well, it's your first batch, right? And your first. Thank you, my friend. Then hook up a little brother.
Here comes Jen. She's come to give us a hug.
Jen, hi. How are you? Congratulations.
Thank you.
This looks really nice.
I'm gonna need you to quit moving so I can get more in there.
Sorry about that. Good. All right. What do you call this, Will?
He's telling me to shut up, but he's doing it politely.
He keeps on disclaiming his product.
Just instead of letting people just experience it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So keep it in.
Yeah.
He's finally got muzzled.
All right. Yeah. Well, the wino guy's right. You got to let people get the sensation and enjoy it. So.
Hey, hold on.
Hi guys, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Who was that? Remind me. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, we are live.
Oh, we are live, yeah.
So he is So what you don't know, folks, is that Will has made his own Tempranillo,
Right.
and this is
What's
not
up,
in a
man?
bottle. It's actually in a little test tube kind of thing, and he's having us taste it, and I tasted it. Now I'm going to wait till Michael says what he thinks before I tell him what I think about it. But we were totally honest with him too. He had 2 winemakers taste it, and they gave him their 2 cents.
Okay. It's not what I expected. I thought it would be a little more. I'm pleasantly surprised. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all.
So the word we said was there's no faults in the wine.
No faults.
And that's important as a winemaker that there's no faults.
Wow.
Now, for me, but I tasted it at noon today.
Okay.
So you had it 5 hours later and the bottle's already half empty.
Yeah. Yes.
The quarters have gone. So
Yeah.
you probably got a little more oxidation, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
It was too acidic for me.
Okay.
How about you?
No, I enjoyed it. It actually warmed me up right away, which is to me a sign of good wine. If it really connects with my body and my taste buds, so that was a good thing. I thought it was going to be a little. How do I explain it? More bitter? What's a good word for that?
That's a good word.
Yeah, okay, more bitter.
There's no bitterness.
No, there isn't.
I was surprised about that. It's got a little bit of fruit.
Yep.
You can tell it's very young.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little bit of green
Right.
notes to it. One of the things that you don't know, but I'm going to tell you now, he also added what he says this much to a 5-gallon carboy vodka.
Oh, just because.
Because it has some kind of flavoring. It was what did he say? Black sage vodka, I think is what he said.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yes, it is
Okay,
interesting.
so he's being creative and innovative and trying
He
to
is.
create something new. I
He
guess
is.
his calling, right, to create his own wine, which is cool. That's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What do you think your first impressions of walking in this?
Well, I like this place. It's very comfortable, very
been to the
friendly.
Bingham location?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been there many times. And then, this place is very nice. It looks like there's still a little bit more probably decorating, but overall it's really cool. And it's big. I like that. Great for this community.
Grapevine location, just so you know, is 800 square feet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This Just look around. What do you think?
This is probably at least triple that. Is it triple that? Double that for sure?
Triple for sure.
Triple for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if not quad. Yeah, because I can't even see all the way back over there. So I just go right there.
3,300 square feet.
3,300. Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, triple would be 24. So I was about
Plus,
900
the
square feet short.
bonus, that's 800 square feet, is look out that door.
I saw that patio. I saw
How
pictures of
about
that
that?
today. That's going to be special.
I
This
know.
summer, it's going to be, or this spring especially, fall.
Oh,
Yeah, that's going to be nice.
they're putting a fire pit out there.
They are. Okay. That's going to be nice, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah, that's well done. So tell me about this community. I mean, Roanoke is, do you know much about the community at all?
Somewhat. Roanoke has been here for quite some time. It's well, if you have to drive further this way,
Okay.
the road down Oak Street,
All right.
to look at some of the older parts of town, but you can see the original downtown. You can see that what looks like the courthouse is pretty new looking. It doesn't look,
Okay.
like the old courthouses. It's red brick. But Roanoke is on your way. This is Highway 377
Right.
behind us.
Yep. I just drove on that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then 114 is
Okay.
over here. TMS is right over here to the left.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Roanoke's a small town. They've got some good stuff going on, as you can see. Again,
Yes.
you have to ride up and down this road.
Mm-hmm.
There's a handful, dozen restaurants already.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm going to drive down this way as I leave just to look at it a little bit more. I think I've driven through here once, maybe twice, but this is going to be the first time we're actually like pay attention. So I've known it has existed, but Texas is so big. Sometimes you just drive through little places and you don't really, do your due diligence when you're thinking about what you should be paying attention to. And I'm a history guy. You're a history guy. And so anytime I can see an old building, I like to smell old buildings, but I have a feeling this town's got a little history in it probably.
Probably has more history than I know of.
Yeah.
Because it's further west, honestly, than I used to go as a kid.
Okay.
Grapevine was probably the furthest west we would go. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it looks like a cute little town, and I don't know how many people live in this community, but this place is packed tonight. Looks pretty good. Good grand. Is it grand opening tonight? Is it officially grand opening, right?
Opening.
Yeah. I think it was soft opening a couple days ago. Oh, it was good.
Dinner time, so it's what, 7:45.
Yeah, we're getting close to 8 o'clock. So yeah, I think they close at 9. But no, it was great. I got a great parking spot, so I knew that it was starting to thin out a little bit. So that was good, but selfish.
This is their parking spot.
Oh, that's over there. Okay, I can kind of see. Okay. Oh, very nice.
When you come out here, folks, you need to remember that across the street from the tasting room is a parking lot that says no parking, but it's made for this location.
Okay, now that's perfect. Smart move. Yeah, good business move right there. Beautiful. Yeah. So, you've been here since noon? What are your takeaways so far from like your experiences here?
Well, the good news is we got to talk with Marissa Bingham.
This is
winemaker
great. Yep.
For Bingham. We got to talk to Betty Bingham,
Nice.
Mama.
I have not met her yet.
Off air, we got to talk to Cliff,
Okay.
the father. We got to hear music by Marissa and her sister Sierra.
Oh.
She plays the cello, and the other sister plays the violin.
Oh, beautiful.
They're a very musical family. There's matter of fact, you can see their letter.
I do.
Their logo.
It's
is
a music
musical
note. Yeah, it's a note.
Right.
So Bingham is a note there. That's pretty cool.
And it's possible, and I haven't actually thought about it. It's possible that's the Vino. I have to look at the lines. I can't see from here.
Okay.
It's possible that's a V.
B. Perfect. Symbolic.
It is.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, I like that a lot.
So we got to try, and maybe we need to get you to try it. They have a Simeon, which was unbelievable.
Okay.
It's unoaked, which I like it that way.
Okay.
But they are going to put a reserve blend together, a reserve Simeon, I should say.
Nice.
It'll be oaked.
Very nice. That all sounds good to me. I'm all about having a little glass of wine here in a moment, so that'll be fun. That'll be awesome. Well, I'm excited because tonight we're going to do an actual podcast right from here. I believe that's then with Cliff.
When they went to dinner, so
They went to dinner. Who knows? Okay. Well, we'll find out. Well, all right. Sounds good. Sounds good.
While we're thinking about it, while we're talking about speaking of dinner,
Yeah.
what's happening on February 21st?
February 21st, that's about a month away, but we have a really cool experience, don't we? We have a wine experience sponsored by or created by the great wino guy who I'm sitting with now, and then also We Know Texas Vino. And it's a collaborative effort to showcase not only the talents and the amazing resources we have in Andy with wino guy his company and where he's going with that, but also just his experiences. And I always joke, I told someone just the other day, I said, I know a fellow who is really into wine. I think he's tried a couple thousand different wines. And I know every time I say that, I kind of grin, don't I? Because that's pretty impressive. I think even in my life, I probably tried, maybe 1,000 wines, and I think I'm pretty aggressive. So you actually are professional at that. Well, what I love about that, Andy, is you and your experience, you're bringing that to showcase and to show people how to appreciate and how to sense and how to really admire the winemaking process, but also the fine wines, which we're not going to just disclose. And so we have a group of people who are going to be there trying this blind wine tasting experience on the 21st of February at Edge of the Lake Winery up in North Dallas, North Texas.
And how can people get tickets to this thing?
Well, tickets are pretty easy to get. I've done it myself. Get online, go to WeKnowTexasVino.wine, and you can access that ticket purchasing opportunity there, of course. And I believe maybe even on a Facebook account or something like that. But I've been directing people, listen, if you're excited about it, you want to experience something cool. I just talked to a couple today about it. Go to the WeKnowTexasVino.wine, and real easy. Our buddy Will Donohue has done a really great job of getting on there and setting everything up. And I think it's pretty first class, and certainly we're going to continue to work on that. So I'm real excited for him.
Yeah, and of course, if you go to our Facebook page, which is the same thing, We Know Texas Vino Facebook. There's also a group on there.
Okay.
But you can also go there, and there's a link. If you will, it's a QR code.
Okay.
That you can get it from.
Okay, perfect.
That's also out there.
Several opportunities to get those, and we want to fill that place like sooner than later. So if you are on with us tonight and you want to experience that, I would suggest you get on there. They will sell out once Chris McIntosh over at Edge of the Lake puts that out to his wine club members. I have a suspicion it'll take about 9 seconds to sell out. So what we're trying to do is let our friends and our listeners have access to it first, because we want to have our clan in there. We want to have people who are interested, and certainly our followers, people who are really all about We Know Texas Vino and the Wino Guy, access that and get there. It's our inaugural. Hi, Will, you're back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
our inaugural wine experience.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it. In fact, actually, so I don't know if y'all told everybody that I ran out to chase down the women who left the coat there.
Oh, I didn't know what that was about.
Yeah.
I just thought you were chasing women.
Well, so got to talking to the lady out there, and she realized we are a podcast and all about Texas wines and stuff. And she was really excited about it. And then she actually said she's going to find our podcast. And then
good.
I told her about our blind comparison tasting with Texas wine to Old World wine.
Right.
And she says she hates California wine. Bing, but she loves Old World wine. And
Okay.
I told her about this, and she said she's going to find us on our website.
Okay.
And she's going to actually purchase some tickets because she
great.
wants to do this.
Right.
She wants to really learn about Texas wines.
So my takeaway from that is the more women you chase out of random bars and wineries, the quicker we're going to sell out our wine experience. So thank you, Will, for your contributions to our success. Yes. Well, that's awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah, it is. But it's the experience that we get to put a smile on our face, that we get to bring one other person into the Texas world.
Sure.
Or the Texas wine world, let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
Because, we know what Texas wine has and what it brings to the table and stuff, and we know what it can and will do to people.
Right. I do have a question for both of you. I think this will be fun for listeners, those who are listening, of course. You said something, Will, that I'm not confused because you say it. It's confusing to me because many people say it. But I think this phrase, I hate California wines, is misleading. I find it hard to believe. I've had so many of them. They're not distasteful wines. They're phenomenal wines. I just think what we're trying to accomplish with our mission statement is to showcase just how beautiful and amazing Texas wines are in comparison, if you want to, with Old World wines or whatever. So people who kind of outrageously and over-exaggerate that I dislike or the word hate a special wine, I think it's a little naive or a little obtuse.
Well, the lady who was out here that was talking to me, she said the reason why she hates California wines, and this was actually a very valid point that she said, is they add everything they can to it to get the same flavor every year.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, well, maybe.
And that's valid, a very valid truth, because when they put them in the stores, they want the same taste every time, day in, day out,
right,
no matter what. And she goes, that's why she loves Texas wines. or old. Sorry, let me rephrase that. That's why she loves old world wines, because they do not do that. They let the grape itself talk. And then I actually told her about the terroir and stuff. And she's like, oh, like the light bulb comes on.
Well, not to interrupt you, but so she doesn't hate the wine. I think she hates the processes and the inconsistencies in terms of being creative, or maybe because a lot of times, I mean, there's an old movie. You guys probably seen the movie Sideways, which I think is a classic movie.
Is that one with the Chuck Norris in it?
No.
No, Sidekicks.
Sidekicks. Okay, Chuck Norris. No, so Sideways, and there's a great scene in there, and it's no dialogue at all. But as they're going to this winery, you can tell it's just a huge winery, and they're just pouring into this huge 18-wheeler. They're just dumping wine into it, right? And it reminds me of just how when you get big like that, and sometimes it is just this consistent, thing. That's why I love mom and pop wineries, because they're always being creative. Will is being creative with his wines. I think Andy said you put some brandy or something in there, or something in there, and so being creative.
Like Fight Club.
That's why I love like a Chris McIntosh and the phenomenal people, because I love that eccentric kind of like, what can we do to set ourselves apart and create something beautiful? And if it works, yahoo! If it doesn't, just start over. You can't cure it all, right? The old movie Medicine Man. Sometimes you lose the actual magical formula and anecdote. You have to figure it out again and be creative.
Yep.
And so, your wine's good, Will. You took off. You were lady chasing before I had a chance to tell you. Nice job.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
He literally said.
I mean, you can tell me, or I'll go back and watch the video. So
he had to find it, but he literally said, "I'm surprised."
Pleasantly.
Because I really wasn't expecting this. He said, "This is good."
Well, it's not that I was like not admiring your talents. No.
Yeah, I know.
It's wine. It's wine. So sometimes, you can open a bottle and not be happy with it. And then other times you're pleasantly surprised. And I think that's where I am right now with that. So very cool.
I appreciate it.
Well, to continue with our experience, Andy, I know you've probably got we're under 30 days now. You're probably getting a few like excited not butterflies, maybe just some excitement in your bones, and you're ready to get out there and do some teaching, aren't you?
Well, I know what we're serving.
That you do know what we're serving.
Even you guys don't know what the European wines are.
No.
But I know.
Well, we have a general idea.
And you won't know.
I think what we should do is we should tell them what we're going to do. So I'm going to start off with the first one. We're going to be doing.
No, don't.
So did y'all hear that?
No, I heard it.
You heard it?
Yes.
I heard it.
Yeah. No, don't spoil this. This is for Andy. This is exciting for him.
I didn't.
But also, you and I are going. We're also participating.
No words came out of my mouth.
I heard something. Did you hear something? You're like in the show Office, where Michael Scott tries to whisper and not be too loud, and yet you can hear everything he's saying.
Yeah, I love that.
Was that negotiation? He's in negotiation strategy number 9. Oh my gosh. So it's gonna be exciting. And I know, Andy, you're the pro from Dover. You remember that old term, the pro from Dover, from the old movie MASH? I always use that for 30 years. You're the pro from Dover. And you are the pro from Dover, and you're going to get some people riled up and having fun. And I think I'm kind of interested in the results from that. I think that's what I'm mostly intrigued by, is to watch how people react and the things that they choose, or maybe some of the responses we get from people, because it's going to be like from the soul. I mean, they're going to hopefully speak from, the inner parts of their tasting abilities. And it's exciting to see what kind of, because I don't know if you like rate them or how you're going to do it, because I'm excited to learn that too. But it'll be cool to see if a Texas wine is the leading, exciting topic of conversation at the end of the night.
I'd be surprised. I'm not going to give you any.
No.
Other than I will say this: we will have a welcome sparkling wine.
Right.
I'm going to say that.
Okay.
Again, you won't know that it's from where it's from, and then we're going to have a white wine, Texas, and one from
somewhere.
Europe.
Oh, Europe. Okay.
It's all Europe.
It's old world. It's old world. That's right.
Old world has to
Yep.
be Europe.
Yep.
So everybody needs to know that. Old world means Europe.
But you spent time in Iran. Is Iranian wine old world, or is that more Middle Eastern?
That's considered old world, but there is not any Iranian.
I was about to say.
Where were you? Syria? Where did you grow up?
That's where I was.
Yeah.
But no, there was not. They don't make wine.
Yeah,
they don't make wine.
Israel.
Well, Israel for sure.
Israel makes wine.
Yeah.
But so they make wine in Morocco. Morocco is a very Muslim country.
Right.
And they make really good wines.
Interesting.
I believe that. Well, it's on the coast, and so they're probably getting some ocean currents. Yeah.
On the Mediterranean.
That's right.
Interesting.
So, okay. So, but that's not, that would be old world. So Moroccan wine is old world considered.
Actually, no.
No. Okay.
Because
there
it's
you
in
go.
Africa.
Right.
So it's considered New World.
I'll be darned.
Old world is only Europe.
Okay. All right. There you go.
So even, I would say, even Iran,
Yes.
even though that they say that wine was created somewhere in that region of the world, even though they say that that's still considered New World because they're from making wine.
Okay.
It's commercial wine is really
Right.
what we're talking about here. Because they're making wine in China now.
Right.
And Chinese wine is New World wine.
Wow.
Chinese wine is Ross wine.
No.
No, come on now.
They have bought a lot of grape. Matter of fact, one of the grapes that is now acceptable in Bordeaux is a Chinese hybrid.
I'll be darned.
Oh wow! Well, that's kind of amazing because Chinese. Anytime we talk about Chinese or that kind of Oriental part of the world, Asian world is they. I call it the Oriental, but hey, what do you call it? We always see it. It's always wet. It's always moist. It's
Well, I think that's Southeast Asia. You're thinking of like Vietnam and Laos and the Philippines and what is it called? Micronesia, Indonesia.
Yep.
Those places. Those are very wet monsoon areas, right?
Yep.
But I think that China probably has some. I know they have desert in China.
They do.
Yeah.
Well, this is around the Yellow River. In China, so it's far west China, and it's up in the mountains. Again, because you need mountain air for this diurnal shift. Everybody wants to have a hot day and a cool night.
Makes sense. Yep.
Kind of like Mexican wine, which one of these days soon. I know this is a podcast for Texas wine, but they are bordering country, and I think it would be in our best interest at some point to do some Mexican wine tasting.
Well, I want to. I mentioned on the last podcast.
Yeah.
That's really important to me. Actually,
I mean, I'm always down to doing the contrast wines compared to Texas to different countries and stuff.
Sure.
I mean, how else are you supposed to learn if you don't ever try anything else?
Well, plus it's just exciting to try other things. Wow, is that in Mexico? That's China. Wow. Okay.
That's interesting.
Wow.
So,
This is called Jade Vineyard. It's in Ningxia, China. Is the
Your Chinese is despicable.
largest region, 38,000 hectares.
I don't know what that means either.
that's like a
Hectare.
It's like an acre.
Let's look that up.
It's like an acre, but it's a hectare.
Oh.
No, being serious. Because you know how we measure everything in what is it called, metrics?
Hold on. You know what a hectare is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's
That's fair.
People say, what the hectare?
I know what a heckler is. I don't know what a hectare is.
So it's kind of like we do everything here in the metrics here in the States, and they don't over in the other country, or vice versa, or something like that. It's same thing.
What's a score?
One.
4 scores, and 7. 20 years.
Okay, you know what? I was forced to memorize that
Okay.
in junior high. I am not trying to do it again.
You know what a hectare is, but you don't know what a score is.
Well, is it the underscore?
No. That's just a little tidbit there. So
Yeah.
The name of the grape that I was talking about is called Marcelon.
Marcelon.
there it is. Marselan. Marcelon.
And right planet is now second over to Cabernet Sauvignon.
Oh, we darn.
And so it's fascinating. Some of these Chinese grapes, one of these days, when we could just drink as buddies, I could bring some of my Chinese wines. You'd be
Nice.
shocked.
I could see a wrestling match happening.
Does it have to be warm like sake?
No, but that's
That'd be
a good
fun,
point.
though. That'd be fun. I would like to do that.
It would be fun.
Yeah.
Well, so let me go over here and let me see if we can get hold of Cliff and Betty while they're here.
Well,
Maybe we can take a short break.
Yeah, we're going to take a short break.
okay.
Have-
Are we going to do a podcast with them, or what are we going to do?
We're going to try to do an actual episode with them.
Okay, that's the goal. I mean, that's why I drove 119 miles an hour to get here in less than 22 minutes from my home.
Our listeners can't see this right now, but I just eye rolled Michael.
I rolled me. All right,
So,
cheers. We'll
all
be
right,
back
guys.
in a minute.
All right, bye.
Adios.
So obviously you've heard of who we are, right?
I have.
I appreciate that. What do you think of our show? Be honest. You can tell us it sucks if you need to.
I got some crust stuck. Hold on. No, it's good. The information's good. Of course, I know a lot of the people that are on.
Okay.
So I enjoy listening to them and learn some things about them and their wineries.
Well, awesome.
Yeah, so-
That's what this whole podcast is about, is to actually to teach and educate and let people learn about the owners and the winemakers, you know?
Yeah, it's a great group. As I get to know them, they're kind of made out of the same, just like the way I view life. You know, it's a hard business.
Yep.
Wineries, it's not easy.
Yeah, it definitely is not easy at all.
Yeah, like we go to grape camp sometimes, and people are like, "Hey, I'm starting a winery," and says, "You have no idea what you're getting into."
Right. I mean, actually, I think one of the classes at Twigga is, so you want to start a vineyard?
Yes.
Yeah, he's where. All right, so introduce yourself, who you are, and what it is you do.
I'm Uncle from Uncle's Family Kitchen.
Okay.
And we're a wholesaler. We sell frozen Italian food.
Okay.
Our primary business right now is selling frozen pizzas to the wineries.
Okay.
We try not to use the word frozen because nobody knows it is until we tell them.
Right.
Once they've eaten it. Is that true?
Oh yeah, that's 100% true.
Yeah. So I'm not just making the shit up, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was amazing.
Yeah, that's the low bar. Amazing. Like, you didn't do a somersault or anything. You know what I mean?
I'm too fat to do a somersault. And if I do, it'll be a
Fair
6.3 on the Richter scale.
Fair enough. Beautiful.
So I'm curious, what temperature and how long do you cook these things?
I'd love to tell you, but I hate to kill you. No.
Oh, wow.
No.
It was good to know you. Go ahead and tell us.
No, it's we have an oven that we supply. We just set all the dials for them.
Okay.
So everything is.
So you actually supply the oven for the
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's pretty
We
interesting.
everything. Yeah. Cutting board, everything. Like, I'm a one-stop shop. When I show up, when I leave.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I come in dating and I leave married. Nick, we're married now.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's turnkey pizza heaven.
Pretty much. That's a good way to put it.
That is a good way to put it. So what wineries do you support, or your pizzas are at?
Oh, I mean, I'd forget somebody. We have about 35 right now.
Okay.
Over Texas.
Over Texas.
Yeah.
So,
Around Texas.
Just name the top ones that you know of. Just right off the top of your head. I mean, it's okay if you miss them because I miss some too.
We're also interviewing them too.
Well, I'll start with our first one is 4R. That's where we started.
Okay.
Yeah. We started at 4R.
Nice.
And it was kind of accidental that we started it. So like, there's we have a certain. Of course, I love Walt.
Right.
Friends and
Walt's funny.
Oh yeah, funny and other things.
Yes, too.
Sorry, Walt.
Oh, look at there. That's awesome. Yeah, 4R is one of our favorite wineries there. I mean, sit down and Anthony is such an amazing winemaker out there as well.
Yeah. Anthony does pizzas there in McKinney for us. And that's where we started at the McKinney.
Okay.
And that's what got us. The manager there had the idea of using our pizzas there because we were selling them at the same market he was at.
Okay.
And so Walt actually found an oven that cooks it like amazingly perfect. And so I was in bed one night and I said, well, why don't I find a trade show with wineries because this is working so good. And so our first show at Twigga, we just picked up
Nice.
a bunch. Yeah, I tried cold calling and that just doesn't work
Yeah, it
at a
doesn't work,
winery.
not
Everybody's
anymore.
too busy.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, right. You got some pizza, right?
They
Okay.
need to taste it. That's right.
Yeah.
Once you taste it, you get it.
Yeah, I mean, people are walking around and, by noontime they've had a couple wines and it's like, okay, I got time to talk,
Right.
and
So are you going to be at Twigga this year?
yes, sir. Yeah.
Well, then we'll be there. Also.
Oh yeah. We're there every
awesome.
year. Yeah. Well, you just walk in and you'll smell it. You're like, oh yeah, Uncle's here.
Oh, like I said, I was digging on. I ate every single crumb off that plate.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
trying to throw the paper away. He was licking the paper too.
Yeah.
I'm a pizza connoisseur.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
that's excellent.
That is awesome that you do a good job on that. I mean, your pizzas are amazing. I mean, I wish I could take a couple home with me. I'll probably sneak in the freezer back there and grab some while she's not looking.
Hey, they work. They cook. You just take them home, put them right in your oven on the bottom rack, and it's just like it's like you went to a restaurant and had a 5-star pizza.
Nice.
So that's kind of the.
And so, does your website offer the wineries to the opportunity to pick the style of pizza they want? Or is it all
Yeah. We have a portal they go to and they order whatever they want. Some wineries, they're all kind of different.
Right.
Some ordered some flavors more than others.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, everybody orders pepperoni. That's the big seller,
Right.
no matter what. So good.
Well, we had a pizza the other day from Enoch Stomp out in East Texas.
Yep.
That was very interesting pizza.
Yeah, that's out there by. We have a winery out there. Walker's Mill.
Yes.
Is right by Enoch.
Yep. So Enoch had a cauliflower crust pizza that had, what was it, pulled pork on it with pickles and jalapenos on it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and then he told us after we had devoured everything that it was cauliflower, and we're like, shut up.
Yeah. Couldn't believe it. I've never had cauliflower crust until today.
Same here.
Yeah, we're just happy with ours. People say, do you have gluten-free? I said, no, we got me.
Right. Well, sometimes eating pizza, you could feel the lethargic out there eating the pizza.
Maddie, did you check that pizza?
I know we talked longer than 60 seconds.
Yeah, like I'm just like the timer's going off in my head right now. Is there pizza in there? Oh, somebody already took it.
Oh, there you go. Look at there.
That's a well-trained crew.
There you go.
Like seriously.
You know what? You can just go like this. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm pretty much going to do that after this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not going to hold you up much longer, but we do appreciate you coming out here and supporting all the wineries in Texas, because that's what we do here. We support the wineries. We want to get the winery names out there and to let people know that Texas wines are just as good, if not better, than other wines in other parts of the countries. And I'm talking about countries outside of Texas.
Right. Yeah. We're the same way. I mean, we develop. Every one of the wineries we develop a relationship with, and it's been fun. It's been great, and financially viable.
Awesome. That is awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
Okay,
and,
great.
We'll catch you around sometime later.